on our live broadcast here, and I have to tell you that it's supposed to be extremely hot today.
Yeah.
98 degrees.
Unbelievably hot.
And you know, the funny thing about it is that it's only the end of the first week of May.
I know.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like in September?
Summertime, yeah.
Mel, summer's coming quick. The asphalt roads will be putty.
Hey, watch your language.
It's not my fault.
There's something else going on this weekend, too. Mother's Day.
There's that.
Yeah.
Did you get your flowers?
I wish I had a mother to give some flowers, too.
We all miss our mothers.
I got Angie some flowers yesterday.
Oh,
It's
very
good. Well, let's...
Except I buy them in separate packets and let her build the bouquet.
Of course you do. You know, speaking of Mother's Day, John Gray has got a wonderful wife, and I know that he has everything all set and ready to go for Mother's Day.
Yep.
John Gray, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, boys.
How are you?
Doing well. How are y'all?
Good.
Wonderful.
You got Mama some flowers or something?
I'm gonna have to check with my daughter on that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she normally squares things away for me on these on birthdays and Mother's Day and things like that, just because I'm normally up here most of the time. So I'm gonna have to. She said she was gonna take care of it, and knowing Sophie, she took care of it.
You got her a paint correction.
A paint
No, I did. Actually, you know what? I did.
Take credit for it, right?
Conrad, her car was picked up yesterday, and Fine Lab, the coating company we use, their training center is in Pearland, and so they're using her car for a class this week, Friday and Saturday. So, yes, I did get her a paint correction, didn't I?
I didn't realize that Fine Lab was in Pearland.
By the way, speaking of Fine Lab, isn't that the rinseless car wash that you supplied me?
Yes, sir, it is. We do a lot of we use a lot of their kind of their accessory stuff, but they are our main source for our ceramic coatings. They are actually located in Chicago, and all the products are made in Chicago. But one of the product testers and the regional sales manager is in Pearland. It's close to a major airport, so they put the instead of him traveling to Chicago, they just had everybody travel to Houston from all around the country and around the world for training.
Well, what a great opportunity that is for the Houston local people, because they don't have the expense of flying into something like that.
Yes.
Well, I have to commend you on a job well done on the last paint correction on the Corvette. That job was absolutely stunning, and I have to tell you, after the hot rod tour of Texas that I went on last weekend, I got more compliments on that 2001 black Corvette that I have ever had in my entire life. And I want you to know, I think I sent you an email about the 4 rinseless car washes that I did over 4 days. And that stuff is truly amazing. And I had no clue what to expect. I've never used a rinseless car wash before in my life. And it wasn't hard to do. It took a little time, but it was when I finished with that rinseless car wash, you would have thought that I had spent days on it at your shop doing all the detail work on it that you did.
It works really well. It's safe when you do it properly. Did you bring a bucket with you, Don, and just get some water and use the spray bottle and some good towels, right?
Yep, that's exactly what I did, and I used the towels that you gave me, which are not the same towels that you buy at Walmart.
Oh, they're special.
No, they're not.
No.
And so where do you buy towels like that?
Well, we carry them here at the shop, but those are South Korean microfibers, and all your microfiber is rated in grams per square meter, and those are 550. Most of your GSM, most of your microfibers that you get at Walmart and AutoZone and whatnot are going to be the 200, 250 range, and those are really, really exceptional towels.
So they're softer? Is that what it is?
Go grab one right there. It's that blue one.
The density of the microfiber is 500 weaves per square inch versus 200 weaves per square inch. Is that correct, John?
Yeah, it's actually
It is different.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's super, super soft. You got to take care of them though. Never wash them on hot. Never dry them on
Oh,
hot.
gee whiz.
Here,
Oh,
Yeah,
my.
yeah. You know, you can't
We're
can't
gonna have
take
to-
him
Yeah,
anywhere.
we're gonna have to spray Conrad down now.
Yeah, well,
Touchless
I did
wash.
what you said. I washed it cold water and run it on, I guess, medium time, and
Yeah.
and it came out just fine. They clean up
Tide-
real well.
Tide free and clear works well as a detergent. No dryer sheets, no fabric softener, or you can buy microfiber detergent on Amazon or somewhere like that.
Wait a
And,
minute, they make detergent for microfibers.
yeah, and it's really good. It kind of refreshes the fibers. That would be my choice. Or Don, you can actually use that rinseless product, that Fine Lab rinseless wash.
Yeah,
Use half an ounce of that inside of your washing machine, and you can wash those towels inside that rinseless wash is awesome. I mean, it does so many different things.
Probably
Sir,
clean
that-
the inside of your washing machine
Yeah.
too. If
And,
it does that
and
good
if you
a job of
bathe in it,
cleaning.
that'd be great.
yeah. I'll tell you,
True.
that stuff
See
is
what it do
is
to your
truly
hair.
amazing. I had no clue what to expect out of that stuff. It's sitting right there, Mike. If you want to show them that right there, you put your arm. That's it. And it comes in a little bottle that you'd use like for 2-cycle oil, and yeah,
So you open the cap and you
squeeze in
to
and
fill
out.
this
Uh-huh.
measurable container, and then just
Yeah, that's it.
that's cool.
Very concentrated as well.
Yeah, it only takes a little bit, and it works. It's like a magic juice.
Calgon for your car.
Calgon bouquet.
That's why you have it.
That's right. But I use the powder after my bath.
Except yours says Old Spice
Yeah, that's it.
No, just
Or
old.
just old. Yeah.
and spicy.
Well, I'll tell you what. That stuff is truly amazing, and I don't want to beleaguer this whole thing here, but you know, and it's not really a commercial per se, but you do some great work down there at Gulf Coast Auto Shield, and you got a great staff, and I think that really, I know that you teach them all how to do the stuff that makes these cars shine like they do. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the fact that not only do you use great help down there, but you also have not only cars that are old like mine that come through there, but you also have brand new cars. I got to see my first Bentley Bentayga in there. I got to see a Lucid when I was in there.
Wow.
That car that's unbelievable. Unfortunately, they've only made 450 of them so far, and they're in deep doo-doo when it comes to making money. But
They didn't follow Elon's
no, apparently
which
not.
is have hugely deep pockets in the beginning.
Well, but the car is unbelievable. So people with the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris.
Every time I've been to Gulf Coast Auto Shield, he's also got a fleet of Teslas
Yeah.
there because you have a relationship with the Tesla distributor in town. They're not dealers.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's truly amazing, and a testament to you and your staff. You know, people take their new cars there. What do they get done with their new cars, John?
A lot of protective stuff. And Don, let me get back to my staff real quick. I tell you what, I made it a point to try to hire the best people I possibly can and compensate them well. These guys, my guys are the best. They're outstanding. Some of them, most of them, they do get trained. I don't really train them myself, but I make sure they get the training from the proper people. As far as the guy like Expel, I send all my guys to Expel school and whatnot. But yeah, it's more about my people than it is me. But we're doing a ton of paint protection here. The whole company is built around protecting your vehicle for the most part. Electronic installations. We did a really cool installation yesterday on a I think it was an 09 Aston Martin back there. We integrated Apple CarPlay into it, and which was kind of cool. They're making these modules now for these older cars, and if you want to get some of the updated features of today's cars, in many cases it is possible. But paint protection film is our biggest hitter here. We do an absolute ton of paint protection film. It's one of the hardest. It's probably the hardest thing that we do here, from the standpoint of patience and time,
Quality of work.
and just overall difficulty. But we do a bunch of it here, and we do a bunch of nice cars too.
So
Um,
John, you said you,
yeah.
you train your people correctly. Do they go to that class that you just spoke about at the opening down in
yeah.
Pearland? So
Yeah.
they've all been through that class.
Well, my paint protection people have been there. The other guys have been to school for paint protection film. Expel's located in San Antonio.
Oh, again,
and then-
convenience
so-
in time and distance to you.
Yeah, and I didn't realize Expel was in San Antonio, but man, I'm lucky that all the companies that we represent, for the most part, are very, very close to us.
Well, you mentioned something a couple of seconds ago about putting film on. You know, you can put film on, and you can do it right. You know, and that kind of comes a little bit to the home person that's putting film on. That experience of your people who have done it repetitively over and over and over again, and understand how to, my phrase, not yours, how to bend over some of those curves correctly. That
Yeah.
comes with time and experience. That doesn't come with the home kit.
That's right. And a lot of these guys, though, like let's take the car wrap industry for a second. A lot of the guys that are doing that now have they've done online courses, and they've actually started some things out of their homes. You know, maybe not as an idea to start a business, but to maybe change the look of their car and whatnot. And I would say that's one of the things that it's possible to do that at home, much more so than it is to like do paint protection film. Just because you really have to have some assets to be able to cut the film and the patterns and whatnot. But doing wrap, you're not using patterns. You're just putting it on the car, stretching it out. And, my guy Ernesto can explain that a little bit more in better detail. But there's a lot of resources online to where you could possibly do some color change or some sort of modifications to the appearance of your car at your house.
But John, do you have to do something to the paint ahead of that? Do some of the paint protection before you put a wrap on there?
No. You don't. You don't want to do any kind of paint protection. If you're going to do any paint protection, you want to do it on top of your wrap, just to protect the wrap as well. But the biggest thing as far as, and I'm going to let Ernesto come in here in just a second and talk to you guys and give you some better detail as far as what some of your listeners want to try to do something at home. Or want some advice on how to do something at home. But the easiest thing, if you want to protect your wrap, you can put paint protection film on top of it. But the biggest thing, and I'm sure Ernesto will cover this, is going to be you want to make sure that you prep the surface and have a good area in which to work that's clean and well lit.
Okay. Well, if we're going to do it, we need to do it because time is of the essence here. So we're going to talk to Ernesto. And Ernesto is Ernesto, it's good to see you. Thank you so much. So you're the wrap specialist?
The vinyl wrap specialist, sir.
So
yes.
let me hear you do some wrap.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
I'm sorry.
Let me hear you do some rap.
Well, I mean, I think is the best way to change the appearance of your vehicle without affecting the integrity of your OEM specs. You can go over chrome, you can go over your OEM paint and make it look as close to paint as possible without really altering the integrated vehicle. So you can always go back to that at any given time.
What are the limitations? Are there any? Is it paint color? Is it style? Is it wraps as far as advertising? What are the limitations? Are there any?
Well, we definitely have the color change part of it, which is done basically on solid colors on all different finishes, and then the commercial side of it that is printed for all the trucks that you see out there with advertising, et cetera, et cetera. I would say that the limitations are they are different kinds of materials, and this is something that someone who's trying to do this at home needs to be aware of. Not all vinyls are created equal. So you want to make sure that you stay away from all those Chinese brands that you find on eBay, and they seem to be a really good deal, but a lot of those products have really aggressive adhesives that probably you will not see when you're installing that on your vehicle, But a few years down the road, when you take it off, you'll definitely notice that was not a good investment.
What will it do? Peel the paint off?
A lot of them that will do, or they will leave a lot of adhesive residue on it.
So there's a reason it's cheap.
There is a reason it's cheap. And they look great. They
Because
look
it's
great.
cheap.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so you mentioned if you took it off in a couple of years, so how long would a wrap typically, would you expect a wrap to last?
If it's well taken care of, and real quick, and I don't want to get too technical
Sure.
about this. We talk about a vertical and a horizontal applications. Obviously, vertical is doors, everything that the sun does not hit directly. So your doors, your bumpers, anything that goes on the side. Horizontal application is your hood, your roof, your trunk. So normally those areas that they're hit by the sun a lot more frequently, you can expect a good 3 years out of it. And overall, I mean, I would say if your car stays in the garage most of the time, you can get up to 5-6 years from a good garage wrap vinyl job.
But when you talked a few minutes ago about the person who's doing it in their garage, when they order these products, you also talked about don't order the cheap stuff because it's cheap. But let's say they order the mid to upper grade one, and that just comes as a roll, and you sheet it out and apply it. So there's a lot of cut waste if they're not real careful. Is that true?
That is correct. They usually come in 5-footer rolls, and then they sell it to you by the yard, or you can buy the entire roll if you want to save some money once you get into trying to wrap the whole vehicle. I would probably advise against going to do a whole vehicle at home. It's a bit challenging, especially if you're doing it by yourself. But definitely interior trim, chrome deletes, emblems, and stuff like that. That might be something that someone might be, willing to venture and do it himself at home. And that, as long as you take care of the prepping part of it and make sure the environment is adequate for it, I would definitely go for it.
Ernesto, what other things do you wrap besides automobiles, SUVs? Is there anything else? Boats maybe, or do you do anything else in the shop?
I normally tell my customers anything that has a smooth, hard surface can be wrapped.
Okay.
So a lot of them
Jeff's-
obviously come in and want to
Jeff
do the little plastic trim on the vehicles. That is what we call a low energy surface. So it makes it really hard for the vinyl to stick to it. Some people like to use adhesive promoters to make sure that it sticks. But then we go again, and once you remove it, then you have to get rid of all the residue behind it, which I think it's not worth going through that. Even when it's doable, I would probably do it myself.
But there's a lot of reasons to go to professionals on certain jobs, and this sounds like another one of those that there's a reason for somebody like you to you've got the training, you've got the experience. So if you find somebody like you to do it versus doing it yourself, you may be better off. You'd just be better off.
Because the time to do it right is the first time.
How much does a wrap typically cost, say, on a mid-size car?
On a mid-sized car here, you're looking at somewhere in the $3,000-$4,000 range. Now, obviously, what can make a difference on that will be if you want door jams or not. Most of the people don't want to do that unless you have a car that you take to the show and want to make sure people see every inside out of the vehicle. Most people are really just concerned about an outside vinyl wrap. And also the type of vinyl you're going to put on.
Still a lot cheaper than a paint job.
Oh,
Yeah.
very much
It
so.
sure is. It sure is.
Well,
And
particularly
strangely enough, just on a quick note, most of the customers, I would say 80% of them, come in and they all request matte black vinyl wraps.
Right.
And I don't know if they think that's the only option out there, but there's literally thousands of options as far as colors, finishes. They make leather-like vinyl, velvet, they do all kinds of weird vinyls now that the people have choices to pick from.
Well, I've seen the cow print vinyl. The black and white cow print kind of looks like the cow from Chick-fil-A. But I also see every now and then the blue chrome or the red chrome color that seems to be kind of popular as well on some of the high-end cars.
Well, I got to tell you, chrome itself, I from my perspective, I think it's kind of fading. That trend is fading. Now is what is called satin chrome. It's a little bit more like the back part of your aluminum foil, kind of like that finish. That is not like a mirror-like, but that seems to be what a lot of people are going for nowadays.
Well, it's an interesting look
Almost
too.
like a matte chrome.
Kind of like a matte chrome, yes.
Wow.
Interesting.
So, how many days does it take you to do an installation of a wrap?
I would say normally between 5 to 7 days, and that
Wow.
includes the prepping, the removing some of the hardware on the vehicle to make sure that you have proper coverage with
Yeah.
the vinyl, and then putting everything back on, trim, post-heated, which is a very, very critical part of the whole vinyl wrap process. The vinyl has a memory. So as you guys have been mentioning, you stretch the vinyl, you set it on, looks perfect. But if you do not kill the memory capability on the vinyl, once you get it out in the Houston heat, that memory is going to try to bring the vinyl back to his original shape. And that's where all the fingers and all the lifting happens on the cars.
Particularly around all the little curves
Yeah,
and all the really
shrinkage.
tight
and
places.
you don't think about the emblems.
Yeah.
You don't think about any of the trim around the headlights, all of that.
Just
you
get
don't
the
think,
X-Acto knife out, right?
Yeah.
Walk around it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a drum kit. You pull off all the hardware and you got a round shell, and then you could wrap that in anything you wanted.
Oh yeah.
That'd be great.
Yes. We're trying to make it look as paint as much as possible. I mean, I guess for someone like me, the biggest compliment is somebody telling you, oh my God, I thought it was a paint job. That is the biggest compliment. Yes.
yeah, no doubt.
Just be afraid of that shrinkage.
Well, Ernesto and
Exactly.
John, both of you guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, wraps, and everything else. Matter of fact, I've got a new commercial we're going to play for the Gulf Coast Auto Shield here in a minute, kind of outline all the things that they can do and more, and encourage you to check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Gentlemen, thank you both very much. It's been a pleasure, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
bet.
Educational.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very.
Very educational.
And fun.
You don't but you don't think about the complexities of doing it right because it just looks like you're putting tape on your car.
But you know as well as I do, when I was 12 or 13, I can do that.
Oh yeah. When you're 34 and 45, you're doing. Oh, I can do that.
Didn't your mother put the shelf liners in the shelves with the plates and the cups?
Have you
and
ever
everything?
tried to do that?
Yeah.
What
and
a pain.
I know.
Even worse to get it out if they put the adhesive on it. Yeah.
It's like vacuuming.
Oh, let's not go there, buddy.
That's
I am not a
Jeff's
vacuum.
nemesis there.
No.
All right,
no.
it's time to move here on the In Wheel Time Car Show, and let's check in on the Cruise In calendar.
Well, again, cruise in stuff that's a week or two away. Let's start with May 21st, Magnolia Days Festival Car Show in Columbus, Texas. Starts at 9 a.m. at off of Milam Street. Saturday, June 11th, is the Northside Mustang Club open car show. Northside Mustang, we're relatively good friends with them. And that's going to be out at Gillow Ford in Conroe.
Yeah.
Now, anybody who knows the Gillow name, they know that they also, Tony has quite a good collection of Ford products. I imagine he'll have a couple at the show. Always worth seeing. June 11th, Surfside, Texas is going to be the beach cruise. July 15th is the 2022 Corvette Invasion
What?
in Bastrop, Texas. Friday.
Why are you looking at me?
Friday and Saturday and Sunday because I want to
You
borrow
own a
your
Corvette?
I want to borrow the Corvette to go.
And-
I know the answer to that. No.
I know. That was a bluff on your part. A pretty good one. Yeah.
Wait just a minute. What day is that?
That is July 15th through the 17th in Bastrop, Texas, the 2022 Corvette Invasion. That actually would be a very good show to go
Let's
to.
clarify
But
that. Is it only 2022 models, or is
No,
it
no,
just
no,
because
no,
of the
it's-
first year?
It's just the year.
There you go.
It's just the year. August 12th is the Texas Wake and Scrape in Huntsville, Texas, which is, lay frame and make noises.
Oh, boy.
Really? Did you just kind of bark like
I
a
know.
dog?
I think it needs
I know,
rabies.
I know that I've heard that before
Is-
somewhere.
Rabies shots kicking in.
So those are upcoming events.
Well, let's not forget there's also a big cruise in at the Lupi Tortilla in June.
Mhm. It's the
Tailpipes and tacos.
second coming of Tailpipes and Tacos for the year. They've
Yep.
kind of switched formats around a little bit. And I love the new format with some awards that they're giving out for certain categories of cars. There's no cost to
Yeah.
join.
It is good stuff.
It's fun.
Okay. Okay, so I can either do the car review or we can go to a break and I can do the car review on the other side.
It's your call.
Well, why don't we do that? Why don't we do the car review at the bottom of the hour?
That works.
Okay. Because if we don't, then it's going to run long and it's going to be a big mess. And it's already a mess that I've created
Messy.
and that you helped me in.
Yes. No doubt in
Okay.
my mind.
All right.
And by the way, I also have some feature stories that I think that you're going to find pretty interesting today.
Some news stories.
Well, they're based on news stories. One of them, the catalytic converter thing that Jeff Yip is going to talk about. He wrote the story, and that's why we got in touch with him. He's going to be in the 10:30 segment, our last segment.
So hang with us for that, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it obviously localized, but it's a national story that Automotive News ran.
Yeah, I was going to say localized to us, but very national because cat converter theft is up nationwide.
Right, and people are getting killed over them
Yeah.
now, so it's bad. All right, you're on the In Wheel Time Car Show. And a reminder that our show streams on iHeartRadio, the radio app, and Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com, and podcasts are available from your favorite podcast source. In Wheel Time Car Show continues after these brief messages.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install Exo Shield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Coming up, Conrad will have This Week in Auto History. Get you updated on the stories making car news this week. Brad Thompson is with God's Garage, and we'll tell you about what's going on up there, including an update on the break-in that happened not too long ago. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Seekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday morning. And we're going to do something a little bit out of the ordinary. Normally we start with our guest, but because we ran a little bit behind, couldn't help myself.
Just making up for last
we're going to
week.
do the review of the 2022 Lexus Lc 500 Convertible. Now, it has two models. It's got a hardtop version and the hybrid model along with the convertible. I had the convertible. This is called a sports car. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
It has 4 seats, kinda. It's got back seats, but I don't know.
It's a place to throw your bag.
Could you
'cause there's
even
no room for the legs?
Could you even get a baby seat back there? I don't even know. But it's very tiny back there, and I think they just do it just because they've got about that much room to put something, and they put a seat back there. Well, whatever the case may be. Backseat passengers are not allowed with legs. Exterior changes from last year. It was all new in 21. Hardtop was new in 18. Exterior features, breathtakingly beautiful body with that great big Lexus grille that works on this car. Big wheel openings with gorgeous cast aluminum wheels. Rear brake duct cooling hole just ahead of the rear wheel openings. A convertible top hides under a smooth, hard tonneau cover. What I liked about it, the eye-catching design. There's no other way to do
Stunningly beautiful car.
Truly
truly is.
Interior highlights, creative linear dash. Wow. Front seats with detailed upholstery and stitching. Not sure why back seats are part of this car. Cargo trunk room, teeny tiny. And
Well, that's why
overnight,
there's a back seat in it.
an overnight bag or 2 would be about all she'll hold. What I liked about it, high quality components, an excellent fit and finish. Yeah, this is a absolutely stunningly beautiful car. What could use improvement? Well, center console touchpad for the infotainment system, it really is a distraction to me. Maybe you'd like it, but to me, you have to take your eyes off the road too long to see where you have the cursor placed to be able to hit the cursor to move it on to whatever it is that you're trying to get to within the infotainment system. Also, it needs a place to store your phone, which it does not have, which I thought was kind of odd, but okay. Liter engine is 5, V8, 471 horsepower.
That's enough.
398 pound-feet of torque, 10-speed automatic transmission. It is a very smooth V8, and they have designed the exhaust system on this to be rather growly.
Oh, that's good.
It is, yeah. And the harder you press on the accelerator pedal,
Growly it gets.
the more growly it gets. Miles per gallon, 15 city is what it's rated, 25 on the highway for a combined of 18. I got 17, and I did not hot rod the car. But
You typically don't.
No,
You leave that up to Mars.
yeah, he does that. What I liked about the smooth power from the V8, it's funny because I drive a lot of cars that have 4 cylinders and 6 cylinders these days. And not to take anything away from them, they're most of the time anyway are pretty good. But there's nothing like a V8.
Oh, the torque down low, the thrust, the push ahead of,
And they're
of a
so
light throttle.
smooth,
Yeah.
and some of them are idling and you don't even know that they're there. That's how smooth they've got them these days. What could use improvement? Nothing. This is a cruiser and not a hot rod. And I want to underscore that. It weighs 4,540 pounds.
Where?
That's a heavy car.
It's like an 18-wheeler.
Well, and probably a good 400 or 500 of that's attributed to just the convertible top. But
Sure.
take the convertible top off of it, and you're still almost 4,000
That
pounds.
thing is amazing to watch it work. I took it over
Oh,
to
the top?
Jeff's house.
Oh, yeah.
And to see all of the things that are moving and zzz, 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 it's precision done.
And each one of those movements has 2 sensors. I started moving and I finished moving.
Yeah.
And the computer, and they all got to hit in the right sequence.
And you have to have your finger on the button
the whole time?
the whole time.
Okay.
I think it's a safety feature.
No, I'm sure it is.
So if you get stuck outside the car while it's moving, it's not going to
Gonna
clamp
close
on
on
you
you.
or something. Okay. What I liked about it, the luxury ride, again, it's not a corner cutter. I want to underscore that. This is a luxury hot rod.
Grand Tour.
Mhm. Base trim price, $102,175. Base model price, $101. Competitors, Porsche 911. $101,200. Good luck in trying to find that. Corvette, $60,900.
Good luck at trying to find one of that cheap, too.
BMW 8 Series, the two-door, $85,000. But
Okay.
but if you want to call them convertibles, okay, this is a convertible. And that's the review of the 2022 Lexus Lc 500 convertible.
And you look sharp in that car.
I
Don.
did, didn't I?
That is truly a gorgeous.
The
car.
ladies' man. That's
Okay.
me. All right.
He actually let Kathy sit in it, and it looked even better.
Anyway, a lot better, actually. All right, time now for our guest this hour. His name is Brad Thompson, and he kind of heads up things over at a place called God's Garage. Brad, good morning to you. Good to have you.
Guys, how are you?
Well, we're doing well, thank you. And it's
So
good.
what you're telling me is the Lexus is not a Corvette.
It's not a Corvette. No, it's not. But it's worthy to put it in the mix. And if you're going to look at cars like two-seaters, because even though this one has four, really it has two.
You know, I've yet to see one on the track at Coda with me when I take my Corvette over there. So
Yeah. Well,
So
and-
watch for it.
yeah, watch for it as the parade car.
yeah.
But at any rate, well, Brad, thanks for joining us this morning. Before we get going, tell everybody what God's Garage is, what it does.
So God's Garage is a faith-based nonprofit up in Conroe. We take donated vehicles from just about anybody, whether they run or not. We fix them the best we can. We get them roadworthy and safe, and we give them away to single moms, widows, and wives of deployed military here in the Houston area.
Awesome.
It is,
Fantastic.
yeah,
Getting pretty good at that, actually.
yeah, no doubt about it. How are you doing on donations?
We're doing okay. I mean, we ran a campaign. They don't like to use the word campaign, but you guys are blunt, and I love that. So we ran a campaign to raise money for our building. We came up a little short, so we're having to cut out things like air conditioning for the shop, at least until we can raise more funds to put things in like that in. But we did a pretty good job of bringing in, enough to get the building going. Now, if we could just quit sinking equipment out in the field, they sunk a dozer and a track hoe on the day one of construction. So since then, all they've done is demolish our old building and pull the equipment out. So we're kind of slow to get started. But maybe by the end of the year, we can have you guys out and you can host a show there.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. All right, so let's talk about the break-in update. Remind everybody what happened with that.
Yeah, so we have our own pickup vehicles and we drive them around as billboards. And evidently, somebody that owns a chop shop liked our 1986 GMC 2500 pickup, broke into the shop out here, did the typical break the steering column, and they drove it through a extremely large metal gate in the back of our property. But little did they know we had GPS tracking in the vehicle. So we had a pretty good idea where it ended up. And then we found it about 3 miles away from there. So we got it back. We found a donor vehicle. We're going to take the steering column out of that one and some other parts and put it back together. But in the meantime, we're gathering bids to fix the gate and the fence and everything else. But, it's kind of funny. It's, from my faith-based standpoint, what man meant for evil, God meant for good. So we now have a pretty good idea where that chop shop's at.
Well, that's good. And I'm sure that you'll be working with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department up there and say, hey, we got a tip for you.
Done.
Yeah.
Just be sure you volunteer to clean out all the old parts after they get through.
Man, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's now introduce your friend there that you've got with you and tell me about him.
Yeah, there's not much to tell you guys. And then I found out what's going on here this morning. And we have the ability here to work with groups from the community and a group called Future Operations Base. FutureOperationsBase.org is their website, led by a guy named Rodney Lopez. He's standing over there with his phone filming us.
Yeah.
They've got a group of veterans coming up this morning, and they're going to learn car maintenance and car basics. This is LaShondra Jones, and I promised I wouldn't mess her name up, but I did anyway. Yeah. And she is a Marine veteran. And what are you guys here to learn this morning?
So first of all, thank you for having me on here. And hello, everybody.
Hey.
How are you all there?
Good.
So we are here today. We are a group of women veterans here just to basically learn the basic car maintenance, including changing the oil, changing the tire, so often we have to call the roadside assistants or call our husbands or our boyfriends to come out. So we as military women, we like to try to do stuff ourselves sometimes. So we took Rodney up on the offer and we decided we'll come out and we'll learn how to do those basic car maintenance things.
Well, good, because that just makes you that much more capable of taking care of your vehicle as opposed to spending extra money going to somebody else to do something.
And not only that, but now they've got a way to say, hey, wait just a minute. That's not the way that's supposed to be done. Or you
Right.
can't charge me more for that than you need to charge me. That's knowledge is power.
Makes you
Or
smarter.
to another veteran, hey, let me show you how to do that.
Yes.
Right. And I tell you what, don't mess with veteran women. Mm-mm. How big of a group you think you guys are going to have this morning?
So today is going to be approximately 12 to 14, and a
Oh,
couple of the
very
women
good.
are actually bringing their daughters.
Oh,
So
cool.
their daughters are actually able to go out. When there's an issue with the car, they need to change the tire. They don't have to call mom, who may be at work or 50 miles away,
Yeah.
or heaven forbid if she's deployed.
Yeah.
They'll know how to actually change their tire or change the oil, or if they're with someplace with a car mechanic and they're saying, wait, that's not what you're supposed to be charging me.
Right.
And so those are the things that we're learning today, and we are just happy to be here.
Well, that's awesome. I will say that I think that most of us have taught our children, because we're all car guys, how to check the oil, how to change the oil, how to put air in the tires, what to look for in certain things.
How to do that walk around every now and then before you get in the car to kind of look the car over for safety items and then get in and drive away.
Yeah.
But, just that quick
So-
visual makes a huge difference.
So as you can tell, she's kind of done this before, right?
Yes. She
Not
sounds
your
very-
average, hey, I'm going to throw you on TV. So tell us briefly what you do with the city.
Absolutely. So I work for the City of Houston Mayor's Office of Veteran and Military Affairs. And what we do is we make sure that the veterans are taken care of. We're making sure that they have the resources that they need, whether they're homeless, whether whether they live in nice homes. We're here to make sure that they are taken care of. And in the recent years, we've added active duty military to our title, because there's a fair amount of those who are here serving actively right now. And we want to make sure that they are taken care of while they're away from their regular homestead. So, yeah. So that's what I do.
We have been involved in a military kind of a charitable organization, the construction industry guys that rehabbed the old Holiday Inn down there at the split between 527 and 69, right down there.
That was my first job when I moved here.
Oh, it was. Okay, well, very good. Well, so you know who we're talking about. And,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
They do.
I still go around there all the time, and we still make sure that those men and women are taken care of in that facility.
Yeah, they hold a yearly show, Guitars and Cars, and they
Mhm.
auction off some autographed rocket legend and country legend guitars. It's a pretty cool show.
Yeah, and I had heard. Am I mistaken? Were they going to try to find another facility because they'd kind of outgrown this one?
Well, so because of some changes that are going to be happening to, I think, the freeway right there in that area, I think around October, November, they're going to be trying to relocate, but they're starting now. Our office has actually been in talks with them to make sure that we're getting in front of the problem, so we don't have a whole bunch of veterans in October coming in front of city council and saying, hey, I have no place to go.
You could have gone
working
all
from there.
day without telling us that there's going to be more road reconstruction down there at that place.
And there's just more road for you to drive your Corvette.
Yeah, well, it ain't going to be there. Now, how am I going to traverse downtown without that?
By helicopter, the way you
Well,
typically do.
I have an
Yeah.
important question. Since you're connected with the mayor's office, does the mayor know how to change a tire or change oil? Why isn't he on with us here?
That is a good question.
Next
There you
time,
go.
you need to find that out.
Yeah.
So
So
he has expert people to take care of that.
That's
for him.
right.
so
I
now
will find that out this week.
so now that we have a mayoral connection,
There you go.
maybe we could get the mayor on and talk about the cars that
That's what
he
I'm
gets to
thinking.
ride
Roads.
in.
Yeah.
No, he ain't got anything to do with that. That would be the highway department.
Okay.
And I don't think right now that they really need to be talked to.
They ain't got time to talk.
Yeah, well, they need to be out there at 59 and 69 and 610 and fixing that debacle.
Okay.
So how often do you guys do this educational event that you're putting on this weekend up there at God's Garage?
So future operations base, they do this in many different trades. So they partner with organizations like us where we have the automobile repair maintenance trade. They go out and do it with plumbing, electricians, anything that when the military veteran comes back and they need to transition back into society and learn how to, kind of get back into the groove of how things works out of the military. Rodney gets together with an organization like ours, and he arranges this type of stuff, and they do it quite frequently. I think, probably futureoperationsbase.org is his website, and there's probably more information on there for veterans to go to. We lose too many of these precious people. Rodney was telling me before we got on that they've already lost like 9 people out of their local group.
Oh my.
And if you know what I mean by lost, those people have so much trouble emotionally transitioning back into society after what they've been through and been deployed that, suicide's a big deal in this industry and in this segment of our community. And man, what he's doing is just really neat. So the fact that we get to let them use our facility is our honor to do that.
And if I may piggyback on what you're saying, with this organization, they do it out of love. They do it for the camaraderie. So it's not just coming in and learning about oil changes or changing a car. It's about getting together, having fun, having a few laughs, and just having a good time amongst each other. All of us have had some issues, whether deployed, whether not deployed. And it's just a good time to get together with this organization. Again, in love and just having that great camaraderie. So
it's kind of like a car club.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, we do the kind of the same thing.
Like-minded people getting together and helping each other in multiple ways, whether it's the physical helping of them, the mental helping of them,
absolutely
the financial help, because it is a brotherhood.
Except we just don't have the Corvettes, but we're working on that.
Well,
looking for
God's Garage is looking for donations. So.
Corvettes.
Corvettes. Yeah.
Next time I get mad at it, maybe I'll just let it go to God's Garage.
Yeah, bring it on over. Hey, I just want to say thanks for you guys for putting us on again and letting us show you some of the other stuff we do that doesn't really show up on our website, but we do the best we can to try to be positive influences into this community. And Rodney Lopez and Future Operations Base and these guys, they're doing the same thing, and they're doing it with a group that really needs our support. So thanks again for letting us be on here. You know how much I appreciate being on your show.
Well, we enjoy having you guys all the time. We'd love to come up there and help you. It just so happens that you do all that stuff while we're doing this down here in Sugarland.
Right. Well, we're open all day during the week there, Don. You're welcome to come up.
Well, believe it or not, I still have a job. People keep asking me, so when are you going to retire? Well, why do I need to retire? Well, maybe that's a hint. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I'm not saying
trying
anything.
to tell me.
Hey, you guys are welcome to come up anytime. We are open. We're not open to the public, so we don't just fix cars for anybody. We're a very closed operation in the way we do actually do repairs as well as giveaways. But anybody that needs our help can go to our website and submit an application on there. They have to go through our process. We don't just open it.
Sure,
up
you got to vet it,
Yeah.
to figure out who.
Brad, how long you been doing this?
We've been here since, we've been doing it about 10 years. Actually, I guess it's 11 years now. I've been part of this organization for 3 years. And man, it started with just a car or two here and there. And now we're kind of on a run rate of about 100 giveaways and 100 repairs a year.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Now, are you taking volunteers in the garage part of it?
Yes, sir. We take volunteers everywhere, not only in the garage part. We're, like I mentioned earlier, we're building a new 6-bay building. So we've got 2 in here. We'll have 6 down there in the new building where it's going to be joined with our office. But we also teach life skills training classes to the ladies that come through. So as they come through, we have volunteers that teach those classes. We have volunteers that clean the cars for us. We have volunteers that run them to get them inspected and run to get the titles done. So and we have volunteers just come in and clean up. So we have volunteers that do a little bit of everything. So thanks for mentioning that, Don.
Brad, thank you. And LaShonda Jones, thank you very much. Give the mayor our best, and you take care of yourself, and good luck today.
Thanks,
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Thank you very much.
bet.
All right, God's Garage, but be sure and look them up online. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for This Week in Auto History. Conrad has that, and I always kind of look forward to this
You
segment.
know, I like it too.
And this one, there's some history that everybody will remember as a movie in the 70s, but motorcycle racer Irwin Cannonball Baker in 1914 left San Diego to drive to New York City on his Indian motorcycle. He reached his destination in 11 days, smashing the old coast-to-coast record by a total of 9 days. He did this on the Indian back in the day. And then, got to remember, back in the early 70s, the Cannonball Baker movie, where they drove across the United States. Dom DeLuise was in it.
Yeah,
Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run, which was kind of a play on Cannonball Baker. And Cannonball Run, you know, that has continued through the years as a clandestine race across the United States.
By the way, does a Cannonball have a head in that
No,
picture?
not in this case.
No.
He wasn't wearing a helmet. We didn't want to have him have to explain to anybody about why he didn't have a helmet on.
A leather
In
helmet.
1918, General Motors acquired Chevrolet Motor Company for $32 million in GM stock, which is kind of funny because they bought Chevrolet from William Durant, the guy they had run out of General Motors Corporation about 5 years earlier, and he went out and got involved with Chevrolet. In 1925, Ford Motor Company becomes one of the first companies in America to adopt the 5-day, 40-hour work week in its automotive factories.
So we blame him for that?
Yep. And then a couple of years later, he brought the same work week into the administration.
Now it's down to
offices.
2 days and 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, with
If there's
6 months off for maternity leave.
If there's even an office to go to anymore.
Oh, that's so true. That is so true. In 1980, 13-year-old Carrie Leitner of Fair Oaks, California, is walking quietly along the road, and she gets struck by a drunk driver. And that was her mom who started Mothers Against Drunk Drivers.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Which has been probably the most effective organization about drunk driving education and holding them accountable. And I think most everybody knows I walk with a limp because of a drunk driver back in 1981 that ran a stop sign and mowed me over. In 1984, we have a little music to play with this, Don.
Oh, is this my cue?
This is your cue. And
Well, wait just a moment, please.
I'm
because
absorbing the
okay,
picture.
yeah. So you continue the story.
In 1984, Bruce Springsteen released the song Pink Cadillac as the B-side of Dancing in the Dark, which was his huge song. The song followed a trend of Prince's Little Red Corvette and Wilson Pickett's Mustang Sally, using automotive metaphors for sex. The lyric, "I love your pink Cadillac," is truly not about a car if you listen to, or if you go in and read the words.
Oh, Lord. Now you've got that stuck in my
I know,
mind.
mine too.
In 1987, the late Davey Allison had recorded his first NASCAR Cup win at Talladega and in his Ford Thunderbird. And that was the very same race as the race finished that Bobby Allison, his dad, had a horrendous accident on.
I'm trying to fix it. Just go ahead.
And then in 1991, the last Trabant,
A Trabant. Oh, my God.
rolled off the assembly line after 34 years in production, and it looked exactly the same at day one. That's it. There was no advancement in this car.
The license plate, is that the OG?
That's the OG. There was no advancement in this car, and they built nearly 3 million models of it, and it never changed.
It kind of like the Checker taxi cab.
Very much
Yeah.
so. Very much so. No, not at all. Because the Checker's a pretty dependable car. The Trabant was a pile of
Manure.
hooey,
Opus.
Yeah.
So, and that is this week in automotive history.
Well, that was very good. I liked This Week in
A
Automotive.
Trabant. You gotta find the good stories out there.
Okay, we've got some recalls to tell you about. Ford Motor Company recalling 252,936.1 Explorer large crossovers because of a defect that can cause the vehicles to roll away while in park.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Nope.
NHTSA said last month that the affected vehicles are certain 20 to 22 Explorers, 20 to 22 Explorer hybrids, Explorer Police Interceptors,
Oh, that's even worse.
NHTSA Interceptor hybrids and Explorer plug-in hybrids. So if you've got a 20 to 22 Explorer,
Park it against a curb.
yeah, and
run.
and then go online and go to safercar.gov and plug in your VIN number, and you'll determine whether it's yours or not. Some other recalls to tell you about: turn signal malfunction on the 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's being recalled. Ford 250, 350, 450, and 550 F-Series from the 2020 model year unintentional rollaway due to a transmission washer.
Uh-oh.
Another transmission rollaway. At least Ford's consistent.
They are. Hyundai Nexo. Hydrogen gas detection sensors may fail. I didn't know that they were making rockets called a Nexo, but whatever.
Hydrogen powered.
Nissan Rogue for 2022 improperly manufactured fuel tank. That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz AMG GLC 43, C63, C63S, and GLC 300 from 21, headlight failure. I think that you'd know that
By
if
now.
you drove it,
Yeah.
about the headlights.
Yeah, it would be
Tesla
dark.
Model 3 unit of speed may fail to display. Model X for 22, missing body reinforcement bracket. Maserati MC20, whatever that is. Brake light malfunction.
It's
and
probably about 50 cars total.
BMW 430i, 440i, X5, X6, X7 from the 2019 through 2022 model years. Sunroof malfunction again. If you didn't know that it was malfunctioning,
It doesn't rain where you live.
Yeah. At night with the headlights.
Either that or you've been smoking something.
Uh-oh.
All right, time now for a quick break. We'll be right back. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InWheelTimeCarTalk.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Coming up, Jeff's going to bring you our pre-owned car of the week, a 2007 Chevy Cobalt. Let that sink in.
SS.
Conrad will have the racing calendar. We'll also have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That more just ahead on this edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And speaking of joining us right now from the Hot Rod Tour of Texas, Jeremy Taylor. Where is Bobby Sparkman is the question.
I'm not sure.
But he didn't show up, so you got it, right?
Looks like it.
Looks like it. Oh, my God. So let me ask you this. Are you sitting back, smoking cigarettes, and bathing in the afterglow of the Hot Rod Tour of Texas?
I tell you what, it was an experience, wasn't it?
It was. It truly was. I had more fun, and I'll tell you, I really didn't have any expectations whatsoever. I went into this, never been on any kind of a hot rod tour in my entire life. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know who was going to show up. Neither did you. And
Nope.
you had an idea, but you didn't know who really these people were. And we all
Right.
came together and everybody got along. Imagine that.
Yeah. I followed y'all on the Facebook, and every day was something different. Every hour was something different from many
Yep.
posts of the folks that were actually traveling with you and their opinions and what they saw and their feelings about it. I thought it was great. I want to go next year.
All right. We're glad to have you.
Well, so what is your take on the overall report card of the Hot Rod Tour of Texas?
Well, from what we heard from a lot of participants, we had good feedback on this. Everybody had a good time from what we heard, and everything went smooth. We didn't have hardly any incidents. A couple breakdowns. I think one little fender bender
Well,
in
and-
brain, but
And somebody puked a differential at the drag strip in his Mustang.
yes, yeah, there was that one too.
Yeah, when you can look under the car and you can see the pinion out invisible, you know
bad
that's
day
a
for
tow
somebody.
home.
Yeah, something's gone wrong.
Yeah, that's
Need
not
a
right.
flatbed to tow that one
Yeah,
home.
and it
'cause
was.
it broke bad.
Well, while I'm just going to chime in on that, I was a little bit worried about the axles on the Corvette
You should
on the
be.
drag strip, because apparently that is a weak point of my Corvette, my 2001 Corvette, and I thought, oh dear God, please don't break an axle. I don't need to have that
Yeah.
headache.
Yeah.
It's a long tow home.
Yeah, it definitely is, and thank God it didn't.
So, Jeremy, how many people do you think came out in total?
All right.
Because I know you had kind of
Oh, in total,
surges in each city. You got more local people would show up. But what do you think
right.
if you added everything up at each location?
You know, we haven't done a tally. I could tell you, like from Victoria, we left with 135. Shiner, we had 194 at Shiner Brewery. We lost count at 253 at the drive-in.
Wow.
Not
And,
enough toes? Not enough fingers and toes?
Yeah, we ran out. Yep. And then we had a pretty good kickoff Saturday morning, but I don't remember what that count was. And we tried to get a count at Dripping Springs. When we got to 81, the person doing the counting, someone started talking to her, and she lost count.
That was that teenage girl, right?
Squirrel.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
Squirrel.
She left.
'Cause
A
I
shiny thing drove by.
I didn't know that she was on the tour, and I saw her counting, lip syncing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then she kept walking past all the cars. And I said, so how many cars are here? She says, I don't know. Because I got them all mixed up. They just kept coming in the back gate, and I don't know how many of I promise I'm going to get to it, though.
Public education.
Yeah, exactly.
She had a blast, too.
Yeah.
She rode with her dad, and they had a good time.
Yeah.
Got on the drag strip, too.
Well, so I did want to remind everybody. So I went down there on Thursday afternoon. I drove from Sugar Land down to Victoria. Okay. And we all met up. I actually went to the hotel first and checked in down there. And then once I got all set up at the hotel and checked in, then I went over to a place called Aero Crafters. And it's titled A Beer Garden and Gastro Pub.
Oh.
And so everybody was outside in the back. They had a band out there. And,
Booze, burgers, and a band.
Crowbars, the band.
Yep. They were a pretty good band.
They
right?
were very good, and brought the audience into what they were doing out there. That was tons of fun. I stayed at a place called the Candlewood Suites. Cost me $80, and so because the boys had done, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, there he is.
Oh my God, he finally shows up.
He got out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Welcome to our world. So at any rate, so we did that on Thursday evening, and then Friday morning we got up, and we all met down there at at Velocity Power Sports, and that was a fun place. So apparently it was an old car dealership, and the guy had taken it over, and he had all sorts of neat off-road vehicles, four-wheelers, all sorts of stuff in
UTVs.
there, and a very nice place down there in Victoria. That was fun. And then we headed up north and went up to the Spetzel Brewery. And do you know what Mr. Spetzel's first name is?
Shiner.
Cosmos.
Cosmos Spetzel.
He-
Sounds like a George Jetson
And
episode.
he named the brewery after the city that he set up in Shiner. I didn't know any of this stuff until I took the
No.
tour. Isn't that good?
It was educational.
It was.
as well as nutritious.
It was
And
new.
it's the home of the Shiner Brewery.
Yes, home of the Shiner Brewery in
Every
Shiner.
drop is made there.
Yep, all of it. And I did not know that they made a lot of different beers at the Shiner Brewery. And did you also know that not only do they make my favorite Shiner Bock, which is, by the way, is their most popular beer, but the brewery still makes the original Shiner called Shiner Premium. Now, you try to find that at the HEB.
Oh, interesting. I know they in October they do a Shiner Oktoberfest, and that's one I always go out and look for as well.
Yeah, they do a blonde, and they got 2 or 3
Right.
during the year.
Oh, they've got lots. Yeah,
Wow.
they got lots, including they had a grapefruit one, and they had an orange one, and
Oh, so they're kind of moving
Strawberry.
into the
yeah.
kind of moving into the flavored seltzers now.
And then that evening, we went up to New Braunfels and camped out at the Stars and Stripes Drive-In. That thing was a blast. You know, all I could think of was my day back in the drive-ins when drive-ins were popular, way back when they invented dirt.
Yeah, you
remember that?
snuck in the trunk.
And I will tell you that the concession stand at this place is bar none, first class all the way. The concession stands at the drive-ins where I went to were absolute dumps. And you know, you go in there and you get a thing of milk duds and some
popcorn.
popcorn and a photo.
And if you're lucky, you got a dirty water dog. 'Cause
yeah,
they didn't have a grill.
oh, bad. This place was top notch. It was first class all the way. I was really impressed with
It's
that.
all 50s theme.
Yeah, it is. And
Great,
great.
right in with Don.
And no more speakers hanging on the poles in there. You just tune into a radio station that they've got for that particular screen. There are 3 screens there. Ours, of course, was the busiest, and had a great time there. That was day one.
And that was American Graffiti you guys watched.
Yeah.
So everybody's throwing revs on the way out, I'm sure.
I don't know. I
Vroom.
didn't stay till the very end. I headed back, but
And we had about 253 cars, hot rods at the drive-in that night.
I hope they took a lot of pictures and video because that'll be great advertising for them.
There's
as well.
They had a videographer there doing some video and some interviews, and they're going to use for advertising for the drive-in.
hey,
They
did
were
either
excited.
one of you guys meet the guy that had the yellow Chevy Love pickup truck with the
blower in the back?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
blower in the back. I had
Yeah,
a
with the big
long
blower.
conversation with him, and
Very cool car.
very
truck.
cool car, and he is a very talented man. If you can imagine putting a blown small block Chevy in the back where the bed is. Now, how do you get that power to the wheels down below?
With an Oldsmobile 425 transmission out of a Tornado.
That's
it.
exactly what he did.
I was thinking caddy, but yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
I work for Oldsmobile. It's always Oldsmobile.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And to make it even more unique, it was a Chevy Love with a step side bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did not know what it was. I had to ask him, what is it exactly? Well, you couldn't tell because it
It's
wasn't
very well
a
done.
Chevy Love that I'd ever seen before.
Very
How
well
cool.
done.
Yeah, it
Well,
was-
looking at what I could see is the pictures, there was a real range of cars as well as quite the eclectic collection of Edsel police car.
Yeah.
That's
his.
I know.
That would be Bobby Sparkman's. And what's underneath that thing? What?
It's sitting on a full 2000 Lincoln Town Car chassis, full drive line, everything.
So the wheelbase was correct for the Edsel?
Very, 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 very close. We had to do some modifications, build some lower A-arms, but other than that, it was pretty much a drop-on.
I love because you'd see that everybody, didn't matter who was adding to the photo collection on the Facebook page. Everybody had that Edsel in it. You know,
whose yellow pickup truck was that?
What's that?
Whose yellow pickup truck was that?
Mine. Yeah, that's mine.
Jeremy's.
What? So whose wife was driving it?
Uh-oh, you just got him in trouble. You just got him in so much trouble.
Well, because who was driving the yellow pickup truck?
It was me.
It was you.
Are you thinking of the white pickup?
Oh, the white one?
No, not the white one. No.
Okay.
Well, you must have looked real cute driving that yellow
I guess so.
Yeah. Don was out of town. He was on a run.
Apparently so.
He was 4 days with you guys.
That's exactly
He
right.
only wears a skirt on Friday.
Well, at least he finally put something on.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
what Don's not telling you guys is he was hot lapping down the windy road by Wimberley. Once we saw him doing that, and then we saw him on that drag strip. I don't know how many times in that Corvette burning it up.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
he had posted his best time.
Yeah, it was like it was
having a-
one
he was
That's
having a
what
run.
you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you don't want to see some of those other times. It was like,
I know that the 18-wheeler guys, those tractor guys, they were looking for you. They were wanting to run.
That was pretty cool to see those two trucks run down the track. So tell us about next year.
well, wait a minute. Let's finish the tour.
Let's finish this year.
Hold on to that thought. So day 2, we went up to Dripping Springs at a place called Speeding Springs, and it's off the beaten path. You'd have to know how to get there. And I can't remember the gal's name that ran it, but
Megan,
yes. Oh my gosh, what a collection of cars that she had in that place. Everybody, their jaws were on the floor there looking at all the beauty of that shop that she had. And I say shop because we didn't know, but when we rolled in there, at least I didn't, that this is going to become her repair shop where she had all these cars on display. She was building a 10,000 square foot garage just down the way where she was going to show a lot of the cars. But she turns these cars, and that's what she does for a living. And the cars that were in there were absolutely stunningly beautiful.
They just started going up with the steel on the new building this week.
They did, yeah. So at any rate, that was a great stop. We stopped there and had lunch off of a food truck that was tons of fun. And then we went on to the Little River Dragway in Holland, Texas. And
they were expecting you.
And they were expecting us. And for $30, I got to run down the drag strip as much as I wanted to. And I was a little bit worried about whether the car was going to not break an axle or not. But it did not, and I'm glad to say that we all pulled through on that one.
So somewhere somebody held or had the fastest time. Do you remember what it was?
I don't. We haven't gotten the time slips in from everybody yet, but I know there was some 12s and 11-second runs for sure.
That's pretty
I know
cool.
the guy from Michigan ran. He drove his car in from Michigan and then ran on the track multiple times, and I know his time slips. He was in the 12s.
How cool.
Yeah. Well, your old pal in the black Corvette did a 13.0 on his best pull, so I didn't do too bad for an old man.
No, that was great.
Yeah, so we were pretty happy with that. And then on day 3, we did the 7:30 kickoff up there in Temple, Texas. That's where we spent the night. And we went over and all met up at the mall loop. And I think, wasn't that where it started raining?
Yes, it rained on us when we were waiting.
We all got it. We all got our morning shower.
Yeah. That wasn't the best, but whatever the case may be. And then we headed up to Rio Vista and on to the Roadside Museum. Now, I cut off there because I had to get back to Houston to be at work on Monday morning. But I put a total of 785 miles on the Corvette. I got anywhere from 22 to 26 miles per gallon on average. And there was a stretch there that I was bumping at the 28 mile per gallon mark.
Oh, yeah. 6-speed,
Very
6
cool.
gear, cruise control.
Yeah. So it was all good, and I had such a good time. And I know that everybody's been chatting up, oh, we're ready for the next one. We're gonna now that we got one under our belt, we're ready for the next one. And I was thinking, and I know that you guys don't want to hear this, I was thinking, okay, so we've got a spring one we just finished. Now let's talk about a fall one.
Nah, Bobby's already said there's only one a year. I don't think he's got more time than that.
Yeah, I know that you guys spent months putting this thing together.
You about a year and a half.
Oh, really? A year and a half?
Well,
now you know what you're doing. It'll be a lot easier.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
We literally jumped from this to our Sunday. We wrapped up in at House of Hot Rods, and then we went over. A group of us, about 10 of us, went over to Waco. Took the wives over to the Magnolia silos, and we made a run over to SoCal and Waco and had a great time there. They were super hospitality to us.
Dump the women off, let them spend money at the silos, and you go hang out with the car guys.
They enjoyed more time. They enjoyed their time at the SoCal speed shop more than they did the silos. To be honest.
Wow.
They really did.
Well, I'm a big
good women.
I'm a big fan of the rat rods, and I think we need an in-wheel time rat rod to do. I think we do that.
So from there, we got home. I guess I got home and got to bed about 1:30 Sunday or Tuesday morning.
Oh, gosh.
Went to work at 5, and we immediately jumped on to our next car show we're doing June 4th, called Bike Strikes and Power Wheels here in Victoria at Velocity again.
Okay, very good. Yeah, as a matter of fact, somebody's wife said to me, "Hey, are you coming back for the for the show?" And I'm saying, "Well, I don't know. I'm gonna."
Hey, we've got an announcer spot for you if you show up.
Okay.
We'll put you on the microphone.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, come on down. We're going to put you to work.
Right.
Put you to work. That's right.
If you want to call
But
it
you
that.
still got to pay to register.
We'll comp that registration.
Don't.
So Bobby, did you ever come up with a total count of all the people that joined the tour?
No, I know at the most we counted, because we really didn't do formal registrations or head counts, but I believe about 253 at the drive-in was our high number we saw, but we know we had over 300 at several other ventures of the tour, probably around 700 or 800 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in total, as people kind of popped in and out at different locations.
Yeah.
Correct. Especially with the price of fuel. I was surprised we had as many stuck with us as long as they did. I believe we had 47 that made the full tour.
Right. Yeah, and I think a blower car, that's pouring a lot of gasoline in a motor.
Yeah, that's right. And we averaged, I think we did, by the time we got home and totaled everything up, just a click under 1,000 miles round trip for us.
Right. Yeah, I could see that because it was almost 800 for me here back to Sugar Land.
Yeah.
No, I did not go to Fort Worth, and I did, obviously didn't go back to Victoria. But
and then our road warrior, the long travel guy, the fellow from Michigan, and he stuck with everything and had a great time at Velocity. Got on the stage and played harmonica with the band. And
oh, how cool!
Out on the track, I believe he clicked around 3,500 miles, 3,600 miles total.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, it's great that you guys get that kind of pull, and now after the first one, the second one's going to be even better. Who's photobombing us there in the background?
Oh, that's my youngest boy.
And his name?
That's Henry.
Hey, Henry, how you doing? Give us a wave.
There you go, Jeff.
Can you wave at him?
Don, he's got a date for you.
he's got the goat.
He's another young gearhead. Yeah, he comes to pretty much everything we go to.
I want to know what
he'll be going with us next time.
the question came up. Both for both of you, Bobby and Jeremy. What do you guys do for real? I mean,
What was that?
What do you do
for a living?
For a living.
Oh, go ahead.
Actually, both of us work at 2 different chemical plants.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because I was talking to one of the fellas there, and he had just he retired and got a call from one of the chemical plants there to come back to work. And he said, well, I wasn't doing anything, so I went in over there to help him. And I said, so what is the commerce in Victoria? and it's the chemical plants. I did not know any of that. And
No.
apparently you've got 4 major ones right there around you.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well,
And it used to be ranching and farming, but it's really the chemical industry is really taking over, and the oil and gas.
I guess I didn't realize how close to the intercoastal waterway you guys are. You're right on it.
That's where my area is. I take care of ships and barges from all over the world for a chemical plant.
Interesting. So,
I'll be darned.
and how long have you been in the hot rodding business?
Since before I could drive.
Yeah.
Legally.
My dad used to race Studebakers on the roundy round track.
Okay. And did you? I mean, you do all your work in your own garage? You got help?
Some of it we do. The swap on the Edsel, I had Lone Star Hot Rod guys out of Mathis help us with that. They're some Ford experts that really know what they're doing.
Well, I have to tell you that I had more fun with Black Smoke Diesel guys up there, the Black Smoke Garage guys. Those guys are an absolute hoot. And, boy, talk about some guys that can get some power out of a diesel motor. Woo!
Yep.
And
Yeah.
he's detuned. He was bumping around 1900 horsepower. He's detuned to about 1,000 now. He left at Speeding Springs. He left them a good black mark calling card on their asphalt out front.
Yeah, you detune it because you're ripping differentials and transfer cases out of one.
That's why he
And hurting
detuned it. He
people.
kept breaking inch and a quarter main shafts on his transmission, just shearing them off.
Oh, gosh.
I can only
Unbelievable
imagine.
torque.
Bobby, Jeremy, it's great to talk to you guys. Had such a great time. And
Next year.
Yeah, I can't
Awesome.
wait for the next hot rod tour of Texas. Thank you. And
We were
by the
glad to
way,
have
if
you.
everybody wants to get on there, Hot Rod Tour of Texas on their Facebook page
Okay.
and get all
Join.
the pictures and see all the videos and the pictures. Yeah.
And
So-
we had such a rush for merchandise. We're taking another order. So if anybody wants anything, get on there. There's a post about shirts and hats. We're going to do another order for the Hot Rod Tour of Texas shirts and the caps.
I'm leaving my drive-in sticker on my windshield.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. There's a lot of them floating around right now.
All right. Well, you guys take care of yourself. Thanks again. We'll
Thank
talk to you
guys so
soon.
much for having us on.
You
Appreciate
bet.
it so much.
Our
bet.
pleasure. All right. Time now.
2.5 men.
Yeah, that's right. Time now for the racing calendar, and I know that racing's picking up everywhere.
Lots
yeah.
of good stuff. 4 wide was, I thought it was fun to watch. But they didn't have pro stock cars.
No.
Eh, come on. Well, it's not NHRA without pro stock.
I know.
This weekend or next weekend will be Virginia Motorsports Park, followed by June 3rd through the 5th, New England Dragway, and then the 17th through the 19th at Bristol in Tennessee. NASCAR is at Darlington tomorrow, Kansas next weekend, Texas on May 22nd, and then, of course, May 29th, Memorial Weekend, they'll do the World 600 in Charlotte. That's a night race, but I don't think anybody's doing the double this year because
Haven't heard,
before
no.
that race is the Indy 500.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that used to be a big deal. They finished at the Indy 500, then jumped down to Daytona.
And you could catch the 3 great races of their series because generally Monaco is always also Memorial Weekend. So you can catch Monaco in the morning for F1, IndyCar late morning, early afternoon, and then switch to NASCAR at the end of the day and just kind of snooze somewhere in the middle of it. But first race in Miami, Formula One's in Miami this weekend.
Pshaw.
I'm kind of interested to see how it plays out because all of the controversy of Mercedes not being very competitive this year looked like in practice they might have figured something out. Yeah, I know, Jeff. May 15th, IMSA will be at Mid-Ohio with the Cadillac DPI cars
betcha.
and with the Corvette running again. And then May 14th, Indianapolis Grand Prix, which is the road race. And then the big daddy of all is the Indy 500 on the 29th. But the Gulf Coast Racing Series season opener is July 2nd. And from what I understand, and hopefully going to not steal Richard's thunder on this, they have got approved to do a spec Miata race on the oval with a $5,000 purse. You could buy a spec Miata, a used one, for that much money. That's huge. So all of you guys out there with your Miatas, get ready and get a hold of Richard Tomlin with the SCCA. This is not an SCCA event. It's not a NASA event. It's kind of a NASCAR-ish event.
Time now for our pre-owned car of the week review. Mr. Zekin had a brain malfunction or something, an 07 Chevy Cobalt.
Yes, 07 Chevy Cobalt. And here's my paper right here. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a 2007. It's a Cobalt SS.
Oh,
turbo.
Oh, yeah. Well, the different trim levels are the LS Coupe, the LS Sedan, LT Coupe, and, of course, the SS, Mike. We're reviewing the SS. It's a two-door. I consider it compact. They do have a four-door available. 5 seats. I wouldn't put 5 people in it. 2 fit kind of tight in the back. Exterior features, as you can see there by the side view, you got the winged spoiler. You've got sports suspension, 4-wheel ABS brakes, sport mirrors, 11 exterior colors.
We've moved on to the interior.
I know, we're getting there. You got cloth interior, and then you got a leather option. AM/FM CD changer is optional in there, but it's a changer like you had in the Corvette, not just in the dash.
The tin.
Right. Premium sound on this rascal. It's a cute little vehicle. I mean, I would drive it. It's got a 2.2-liter 4-cylinder. The base is a 2-liter. 148 to 260 on the horsepower. The 260, obviously, the
That's
ratio
the turbo
of the SS.
2-liter.
Right, SS model. Excuse me. The torque would be 152 to 200 foot-pounds of torque. Of course, the 200 being the SS. You have the option of a 4-speed auto or a 5-speed manual.
Take the manual.
Oh, for sure, especially with the turbo. It'll be a real fun ride.
Now, 25 in the city, 34 on the highway with a 28 combined. It's got a 13-gallon fuel tank. 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds. That's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. Ride and handling, you've got the 205 5017 alloy wheels, 4-wheel disc brakes, traction control is an option. You get turbo, you can get turbo or supercharged. Now, this vehicle is right at $10,000, a little under $10,000, to about a $13,000 value with low miles. So there's a couple out there still available in that range. Regular Cobalt without the SS in today's money is about $3,500.
Right. Well, you're going to pay the premium for the SS.
Yeah.
But you got a hot hatch. You got a hot little hot rod.
Absolutely.
Well, that would be something that you'd call the Emmons brothers and say, hey, I'm looking for an 07 Chevy Cobalt SS. You got any? And you'd say, well, yes, right over there. We
in front of my trailer, it says Lucas on it. It's got a small block Chevy. We tubbed it out, put an LS in it. Right, Jeff?
Want to remind everybody that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on iHeartRadio, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available from your favorite podcast channel. In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after a quick break.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install Exo Shield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Coming up, Conrad has the Car Clinic. We also have this week's automotive news and more award-winning car talk. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Kind of a sad story I just found this on automotive news. A man in Michigan is being sued after a mechanic was killed in an accident while working on his vehicle. While the owner of the manual transmission 2019 Jeep Wrangler is being sued, it'll be the dealership's insurance company that'll be financing any possible compensation on his behalf. The attorney representing the mechanic's family, David Femininio, said the trial has been set for May 20th. The case reported this week by TV station Fox 2 in Detroit. The man took his vehicle into Rochester Hills Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on March 13th for an oil change. Two mechanics started to work on the vehicle when the accident occurred. One of the mechanics, Daniel Thompson, got into the Jeep and stepped off the clutch, causing the vehicle to jump forward and hit the mechanic, Jeffrey Hawkins, 42. Hawkins was pronounced dead within an hour. Thompson also was named a defendant in the case, which was filed on March 18th in Oakland County Circuit Court in Michigan. Turns out that the fellow employee was 19 years old, did not have a driver's license, and certainly did not know how to use a stick shift.
What a shame.
While Mr. Femininio, I think is the way you pronounce the name, said that the Hawkins family wants to sue the dealership for negligence, Michigan law makes that impossible. The law states that employees cannot sue their employers for accidents that happen in the workplace. It also says that a dealership is not liable for the acts of the people who drive the vehicle with the owner's permission. Only in Michigan.
Yeah.
Thus,
Or California.
suing the owner of the Jeep is
Is
a
the only
roundabout
option.
way of making the dealership pay through its insurance company. Femininio said he hopes the dealership learns its lesson in making sure it hires more cautious employees and educated in stick shifts. He says, if you fail to hire the right employees, if you fail to train your employees, somebody can get hurt. In this case, my client was killed.
What a shame.
Femininio is seeking $15 million on behalf of Hawkins' wife and 4 children. Lawyer representing the owner of the vehicle did not respond to a request for comment. Spokesperson for Rochester Hills Chrysler Dodge Jeep declined to comment about the case on Friday.
You think it
So-
would be an OSHA thing, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, there's so many things wrong with that. I mean, the first place,
You have a technician doesn't know how to drive a manual, doesn't have a driver's license.
so how do you get a job where he's driving a car? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the dealership messed up there, but the fact that the dealership can't be held responsible in this situation.
Goes to show you how strong the dealer body's lobbying
I
effort
don't
is.
know. It's
Well,
so
I mean,
crazy.
part of that, but the other side of that is they're going to sue the car owner. Now, how many car owners have $15 million worth of insurance? You know, because that's the only way they're going to get it is out of insurance. So they're not going to get their money, and then the owner's going to have to turn around and sue the dealership because of his loss there. So I mean, it just ties up the courts, and they don't get their money because
It's a circular firing
they're not.
squad.
Well, they're not going after the deep pocket. They're going after the only pocket they can, and it's not deep like they think it is.
It's a mess. It's a
It
mess.
is. It's terrible. That's it. That's just.
And in all of this,
wrong.
somebody lost their life.
Yeah.
With 4 children and a wife.
That's the worst part of
Well,
it.
you know, me having worked in shops for so long, it's not uncommon to hear of somebody starting a car and it's a manual and it's in gear and it moving, and in some instances pinning people up against their toolbox, because generally that's where it is. But this supposedly this kid got in and stepped on the gas, which means it had that much more force than just at idle at a start. But what a shame.
Awful. I will tell you, it didn't hurt anybody, thank God. But when I was working at Richardson Chevrolet, there was some sort of bizarre foreign car that they had back in the fiberglass shop. And it was there for months because the only place to source fiberglass panels for this car was Europe. I don't know what kind of car it was. I don't remember. Some sleek-looking thing that looked like kind of like a Ferrari Testarossa is what it kind of looked like. Anyway, so they finally got the parts. They got the car fixed. They got the car painted. It looked $1 million. And my shag friend that was shagging the car from the parking lot up to meet the customer
Wrecked it.
Put it head on into the post between the two garage doors.
Oh, no.
Pushed the entire front back all the way into the windshield.
You got the number of the fiberglass guy?
That's not going to matter. That's way too fast.
Back to the shop it went for another 9 months while they got more body panels on it.
And through the years, you always hear those stories of the kid got behind the wheel of a Viper, wrecked it, got behind the wheel of a new Corvette, wrecked it. So, and you talk about, you guys, when you were that young, you just weren't sensible.
17, 18 years old.
Behind the wheel of a powerful car and
bulletproof. I don't think that anybody at the dealership even checked to see if I had a driver's license. They just assumed that I did. I did.
So how did this guy get back and forth to work? The one in the article.
Took a bus.
Oh, boy.
It
Not
is,
in Oakland
it
County.
is Detroit.
Well, that doesn't mean he's not driving a car. It just means he doesn't have a license.
It's not legal.
Okay, so here's one for you. EV story.
Oh, catalytic converter, right?
Nope, not that.
Not yet.
As electric vehicle sales pick up steam worldwide.
Steam.
That's right. So whoever wrote this, John Irwin at Automotive News, I'm sure that he put that in there on purpose.
As a poke.
Picked up steam worldwide. EV charging stations are emerging as an enticing target for hackers.
Oh.
Now get this. I saw this. I couldn't believe it. Automotive News. Chargers provide a new opportunity for hackers looking for ways to make money, warns Yoav Levy, CEO of a company called Upstream Security, an Israeli provider of automotive cybersecurity platforms. High-profile incidents of hacked charging stations around the world have spotlighted the vulnerabilities. 3 charging points on the Isle of Wight in England were hacked to show pornography on their screens, according to a report last month by the BBC. In February, EV charging stations along a major highway between Moscow and St. Petersburg in Russia were disabled by hackers protesting the country's invasion of Ukraine. The charger screens reportedly displayed a vulgar insult directed at Russian President Vladimir Putin, among other pro-Ukraine and anti-Russia messages.
And the people complained because it wasn't pornography.
Putin in a bubble bath.
Levy said attacks on charging stations are on the rise and will become more common in the months ahead. Hackers can target chargers from ransomware attacks, locking users out of charging until they pay. They might also hack into the charger to avoid paying fees for usage. He says, we're already starting to see the first hacks, and I'm sure there are plenty of cases that have happened that haven't been published. Cyber attacks in general on the rise in the auto industry, especially as vehicles become more connected to drivers' smartphones and other devices.
Apple Play.
Attacks are increasing, being carried out remotely. More than 80% of all cyber attacks worldwide in 2021 were done remotely by hackers, compared with hacks that involved physically connecting with the vehicle in some way, according to Upstream. The possibility of making bigger money could mean hackers will turn more attention to large EV fleet charging centers. Because charging stations are connected, here's the real get-go on this. Because charging stations are connected to local electrical grids, hackers could also attempt to use them as an entry point into the grid. In that case, individual charging station vulnerabilities could be considered a national security risk. Vehicles are connected with the biggest risks OEMs have now are remote hacks, he said. Someone can sit in North Korea or China or Russia and hack vehicles, and not just single vehicles. They can go after whole fleets.
Wow.
Oh my God. Think of that.
And
You plug into a charger up here at Whole Foods, like I did the other day. Now your car is connected to that charger, to that infrastructure that opens
Grid.
grid, and it's also connected to, you got your cell phone in the car? Is it plugged in? Are you on, Apple CarPlay, iTunes, any of that stuff?
Yeah.
Think of that.
now take it even to the next level, because Torque Robotics has announced Penske Trucking to be managing their autonomous semi-tractor trailer fleet as it drives around Texas. So you talked about at the car level. Well, now, are the hackers going to go at the tractor trailer, and autonomous driving, and what havoc could they create? Get a job and leave me alone. Get the hell out of my country, you bunch of whack jobs.
Oh, boy. And you got banking information, too, on your phones.
Mm-hmm.
Some do. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they
numbers.
can send the information in, like you were talking about the porn or whatever it is they're putting in there, then in the autonomous world, once they could send and reroute things.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
truck full of goods. Send it over here so we can empty the truck.
Yep.
All sorts of ramifications to that.
Kind of crazy.
And who would have thunk of that? I mean,
The hackers, clearly.
obviously. I wouldn't have ever thought of that.
And as this autonomous advances and the EV autonomous advances, there's going to be so much vehicle-to-vehicle communication that's going to offer another entry point for the hackers to come in and act up. Oh, why can people just not be
I could
idiots?
see it. You're going to be driving down the road. You're going to get a text on your phone that says, if you don't
Donate
send me
here.
if you don't send me $1,995, I'm going to shut your vehicle off while you're doing 80 miles an hour down the freeway.
Or take it up to 80 miles an hour.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the more you think about it, the deeper you go into
The
it all.
scarier it gets.
Because now somebody, somewhere, has control not only of your car. Let's just think about OnStar for a second, which is connected to almost every
That's the
General
original.
Motors vehicle. They can unlock locks. They can do all sorts of things. Start the car, stop the car, hack into that.
Slow the car down.
Mhm.
And that's been the case for years. They can turn the phone on and listen to you.
Or dirty pictures of the Queen from England.
That's been the case in OnStar.
In that case, you'll get the
since
text
the
that
beginning.
says, send me $19.95, or I'm going to share what you were talking about with everybody that's on your contact list.
So, that connection, that electronic connection to vehicles is known to be an access point for hackers. There was a number of years ago, there was an issue with some Chrysler products and some hackers that were getting in and messing around with the cars, and Chrysler had to have a recall to put a and it was just on the ignition system and the remote starting of it. But they had a recall and had to go in and do some reprogramming to put some protection.
So
in
when
it.
you buy a General Motors vehicle, and we'll assume that pretty much everything's got OnStar loaded into it, it may not be active per se, but it is.
It's hooked up, and it has a phone number assigned to it. Every OnStar system has a Verizon type of a phone number that's assigned to it, and that phone can be active without people.
Do you have to sign some sort of a waiver and waive your rights to privacy because they can hear what you're doing in the car?
Probably should. Do you?
At least,
and that's why you hear some people will pull the mirror out and disconnect their OnStar of their vehicles and throw that away for whatever reasons, because they don't want Big Brother watching you. OnStar can watch you. I've told the story on the air before of getting a phone call from Michigan when I was driving a Cadillac STS V-Series back in 2006, And I got a phone call Monday morning and said, hey, we saw all these misfires on your vehicle Saturday night at about 2:30 in the morning. You were doing 133. You were in fourth gear. What was going on? I said, no, I didn't manually advance the shifter. I was in manual shift. So they can see all those things because when they set, and this has been the case for some time, when they set codes, diagnostic trouble codes, OnStar is notified. They'll bounce an email back to you. They'll bounce an email because now they read the mileage of the vehicle, so they bounce maintenance minder information back to you. They'll also, when it sets a code, they will advise the dealership that your car set a code, so they can be prepared for you to come in, or the dealer can proactively call and say, hey, that check engine light.
Yeah, service reminders.
Code.
Mine did that in the beginning. Yeah, absolutely.
Find parts.
Yeah. So
it's time for this.
And that's OnStar, and OnStar has been out since, oh gosh, the early 2000s, and they haven't updated them because some of those types of systems were on on a 3, the internet G3, and as 3G goes away, those systems are all going to become obsolete. No, you can't
upgrade
it's a hardware upgrade.
Okay.
It's not a software upgrade. So those cars will become obsolete. And they had originally OnStar was analog. So as the digital came out for OnStar, all that went away. So they've gone through cycles of the years where the earlier OnStar systems have become obsolete, and they're about to go through a big one as 3G goes away. And not just GM and OnStar. OnStar is sold as different names through different manufacturers as well.
But the platform is what GM sells these companies, and it does work well.
Oh, it's great.
As long as you don't cheat or do something dishonest or rob a bank or something.
Well, it's kind of like your phone. Your phone takes a GPS. They can follow you by your phone if they want to.
You can follow me by my phone.
Unless you turn locations off.
Just not too close.
Please.
Especially after Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Did you party at Cinco de Mayo?
I had a few margaritas and ate some Mexican food.
Where?
At the house.
At the house?
Mm-hmm.
Catered it.
Taco Cabana. Taco Cabana will sell you margaritas to go. They used to be $2. Now they're $3.
Oh, my.
Hey, it's worth every penny. It comes with its own little bottle of vodka or a bottle of tequila and, an assortment of flavors. You have to buy some food with it. So I bought chips and cheese sauce, 4 margaritas.
Yeah. We've got stories similar.
I think that we should start having a food section on this show.
Sign me up. I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
I'm very much a foodie. I love it.
I've seen some of the stuff he eats.
Yes.
I
have too.
I have to watch my diet. My diet is very, very.
Well, you're
limited.
delicate.
Yeah, I am. Like a little rose.
I eat seafood. I see food and I
eat
it.
Yeah. Or you're a light eater. When it turns light, you start eating.
So maybe we should start a road food segment.
Oh, that's
not
a good
road
idea.
kill, but road food.
No, that one's already taken.
Because I will tell you that on the hot rod tour of Texas that I took, drive-in food places were far and few between on the route that we took. And we didn't, you can imagine, 150, 200 people climbing into some restaurant somewhere to have lunch. That's not going to happen.
You want to be in the front of the tour.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is on a wait.
Yeah, so that didn't happen. So it was, the Chevron station that had 6 pumps out in the middle of nowhere, and whatever they had on the shelves in there was all gobbled up pretty quick.
Wow.
Things like, pork rinds. Do you like them hot or do you like them raw and naked?
Don't eat them.
Yeah, well, I do. I love those things. And I will say that there are some pretty interesting new items now at the 7-Eleven stores and those kind of places.
You'd think it's the hot rod tour of Texas. They'd have made an organized stop at a Buc-ee's. It is Texas, after all.
Well, I know.
A Buc-ee's and a Whataburger in there somewhere.
Did
Whataburger,
did y'all
Chicago.
even see a Buc-ee's on that route?
No.
I didn't
No
think so.
Buc-ee's? No. There was no Buc-ee's.
Or you go into a restaurant and your waitress is Flo.
That's right.
Or Laverne or something.
And the name of the restaurant is Mel's Diner.
Yeah, Mel's Diner.
Yeah, let's go back to the 70s.
Yeah, but it's it's hard to feed all those people
Oh,
at
very much so.
one time.
And especially if you just kind of pop in on them.
Right.
You know, if it was organized and they said, hey, we're going to stop at Jack's Barbecue, they back up to a city park here, and then he'll have stuff ready for you.
Getting
well, you said the food
200
truck.
people in.
They had the food truck, but you can imagine the line. I mean, a food truck is
You
usually
need
a couple
10
of
food
people at the
trucks, yeah.
most that run it. Somebody cooking it and somebody taking the orders.
limitations there too.
So I think that the thing to do is, have sandwiches ready to go from, I don't even want to say Subway. I don't do
Whoever.
Subway.
But there's
Whoever
bound
it
to be
is.
somebody that
And, you can buy your picnic lunch, if you will, from Jersey Mike's or someplace along
like a
the
box
way.
lunch.
Or you could stop at Buc-ee's and get a barbecue sandwich and some jerky.
And you know what? I think that'd be a good recommendation if the boys in the Hot Rod Tour of Texas are listening, that next year that somehow, some way, we wind our way back to a major intersection somewhere for lunch, and we pop in at a Buc-ee's. That would be no big deal.
And let
300.
Buc-ee's know you were coming, and they could kind of
We
be
should do that when we were in the bands in high school, and you got busloads of kids. They would call ahead to a McDonald's and say, "We've got 90 people or 90 kids, whatever,
coming in with the bus."
Exactly.
Throw some
Start the
extra
fries.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
a church group or something.
Start the fries. Yeah. No. But at any rate. All right, time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. And if you've just joined us, don't forget our email address if you want to get in touch with us is info@inwheeltime.com. Conrad's Car Clinic, what are we talking about today?
Well, 5 tips to prepare your truck for outdoor towing season. As we're deep into spring, into early summer, you want to get your vehicle ready. If you're pulling a trailer or a boat or a camper, maybe you're just pulling a couple of ATVs or even a couple of watercraft or something. You want to make sure that you make that investment in your vehicle and avoid the breakdown in the vehicle because you forgot to maintain it. So a few things that you need to pay attention to when you're towing, and we'll kind of focus on boats, ATVs, and watercraft, and that is front and rear differentials. So when you're pulling a trailer, 8,000-pound camper, maybe you're pulling some horses, or you're dipping a boat into the water, you want to make sure that rear differential fluid is fresh and replaced. If you're doing a boat, you need to be changing your rear differential fluid at least once, possibly twice a season, because depending on how far back you got to get, you're going to submerge that differential. You're going to get some water in it, And even when you're towing, even if you're not getting the vehicle wet, that's putting a stress on the differential fluid. Next up is, make sure that the engine's running correctly. Start the season with a fresh oil change, put a good fuel additive in the tank, and start off the season correctly. And then on the braking system, you want to pay attention when you're towing. You're pulling heavy loads, you're putting that much more stress on the brakes, that much more stress on the tires, that you want to make sure that somebody's done a good tire inspection, checking tread depth, checking the thickness of your brake pads on the vehicle, as well as changing the brake fluid on it, because the brake fluid will overheat because just because of towing. Cooling system's another important thing. Fresh new fortified fluid in your cooling system. I'd say that one probably every 2 to every 3 seasons to change it. Many manufacturers offer long life engine coolant, but long life doesn't necessarily mean you don't want to change it. You always want to change the fluid before it goes bad, as opposed to waiting for it to go bad. And then finally, the air conditioning system. Yes, your AC system is somewhat self-contained, and you don't have to do a lot to it. But you do when you talk about the cabin air filter. Change that cabin air filter, apply some kind of a cleaner disinfectant into that cabin air filter cavity so that you can kind of knock down some of the mold and mildew and that dirty sock smell you get when you first start the vehicle in the morning.
I wouldn't even know what that is. I don't have dirty socks.
You don't wear socks at all. But that's 5 easy tips to prepare your vehicle for outdoor towing season.
There you go.
All right. Thank you very much. I really don't need to tell you this, but I'm going to anyway. Toyota Motor, saddled by some of the industry's lowest inventory levels, set April volume and sales skidded 23%. Ford Motor Company deliveries fell 11%, with volume decreasing 11% at Ford and 12% at Lincoln. Honda, citing difficult supply constraints, said sales fell 40% in April, the company's ninth straight monthly decline, with deliveries down 41% at the Honda division and 33% at Acura.
Wow.
Subaru deliveries down 25% in April, dropped for the 11th consecutive month as well. And on my rant about CEOs' pay.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear it.
May I continue?
Yes.
One of your favorite people, Mary Barra. They awarded Mary Barra $29.1 million in total compensation last year, up 23% from
'Cause
2020.
she's done such a bang-up job. Sorry.
I think you touched a nerve.
Barra's compensation was worth about $6 million more than the package given to Ford Motor Company CEO Jim Farley, but she also chairs GM's board, like that makes a difference. Farley nearly doubled his compensation to $22.8 million last year, his first full year as CEO. Now, if that's not enough to tick you off, I don't know what does. Ticks me off. Really?
Drives me completely out of my mind.
he's-
Just think of how many of those millions of dollars they could put into.
That you paid when you bought your new car that goes to these morons.
Yeah.
Really?
That's not only the cost of the price of the car, but you've got union access, you got their salaries, I got all of that.
Well, all of that's built into the price of the car,
Yeah.
but so's $29 million.
Yeah.
If GM sells 1 million vehicles a year, you gave her $29 when you bought one of those. Why?
Exactly. That's
You
just
know,
her.
Well, when there's a job of performance that, yeah, she may be hitting the metrics that the board set for her, but when you talk with, if they would add in some product quality restraints on her pay, I think the quality would improve.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It won't.
Nah.
Quick break now. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install Exo Shield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Yes, friends, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Just ahead, we talk with the fabulous Jerry Emmons. I'm sure he's never been called that before. About the used car market and how the fleet of Emmons Lucas Oil drag cars have been doing. Mike Mars reviews his new truck of the week. Plus, we'll have the upcoming events calendar and this week's auto news headlines. It's just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And, you know, let's not waste the time, shall we? Let's not waste the time. Let's just go right to him, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, from Emmons Motors and Emmons Motorplex, here he is, Mr. Jerry Emmons himself.
2021 World Champion.
What a great Saturday.
It is a great Saturday. How are things down there in the south side of town?
They're steady. Honestly, they're not as busy as we would like. We're always having to, check our pricing and stay competitive with that. The auction prices are still crazy high. If you go to the auctions, you're going to think that, that we're still in this, big demand, but we're having to keep our prices in check, and we're busy, but it's not what we had hoped it would be.
Well, I read a story this week that apparently, nationwide anyway, that wholesale prices are for the third month in a row lower than they were the month before, and so I'm sure that has got to affect a little bit about what you're doing.
Well, I have read that too, but I know between myself and my other three brothers, when we're trying to buy cars, we're having to pay just as much as even more as we did 3 months ago.
Right.
But
I would imagine that the Houston market is a little bit unto itself in the fact that, we've got a lot of new car dealers in the Houston area that have zero inventory. So I'm sure that is driving business to you.
I'm sure of it. And yes, and it still is. We have people, we just sold a transit van the other day, and it brought sticker back when it brought over sticker than what it sold for brand new.
Wow.
Just because the customer couldn't buy one brand new.
Yeah. And it's all about availability. And you guys, how much inventory do you guys carry, Jerry? And
I looked yesterday and we were at 970. Now, not all of those are online, probably 880 are online, but we're trying to get the rest of them.
That's still stout.
Dude, that's huge. That's a lot of cars.
We went to the NHRA, obviously, and driving through, going to Baytown from the southwest part of town, there are a lot of car dealers with nothing. And you got
that
over
Honda
800.
Honda dealer in particular on the way over there to the racetrack. They had no inventory.
They had maybe 4 cars there, and one of them was the operator.
And I think the 2 of them were abandoned.
Yeah, I saw the exact same dealership that you guys are talking about. I think, I can't help but think that the only difference between what their strategy was and what ours have always been is we just never stopped. We kept buying. We never waited for the auction prices to go down. We always, it's all about market value. So you just have to stay competitive. You're not going to sell anything if you don't have anything to sell.
Right.
I mean, that's just common sense, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously you have to pay attention to the market and what the comps are and things like that. But I can only think that our strategy was a little different, and that's why we're able to still have the inventory. 800,
900 cars available. You're the place to go look for a car at this point, because so many other used car operators and so many of the dealerships, maybe they have 10, 15, 20 cars, and if you want a selection,
I agree. And that's what we obviously hope for is that when you're searching for a Honda Civic or a Cruze or a Jeep or a Corvette or a lifted truck, that we're not just going to have one of those or 2 of those or even 3 of those in inventory. We hope to have, 7 to 10 each of everything. That way, if there's a particular color you don't like, well, that's okay. We may have another one. If you want something with a little less mileage, or maybe something that falls within the budget a little better, then we'll have that too.
What price range of car do you sell the most of? Where does it fall in? What is the most popular price category of cars that you sell?
25,000, but pre-COVID it was like that 12 to 15, 12 to 17, but now it's 25,000.
Just the market.
And it's not just the market uptick in price on that particular vehicle, that people are now that would normally buy a new car are going to use cars.
Because they have no selection.
Right. And usually those cars are in that price range. Am I right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so what do you sell the most of? Do you sell more trucks, SUVs, automobiles?
Well, man, that's a great question. Right now, it's everything you want to be seen in. A Jeep, a Corvette, anything sporty. That's what's selling.
Interesting. So do you have truck inventory down there?
Yes, sir. We sure do. We have several lifted trucks. We have several trucks that are just stock. I mean, whether it's a crew cab, 2000. I'm just going to come up with ones that we always buy, like a 2015 to 2018 crew cab Chevrolet Silverado, all stock suspension. Or if you wanted the one that's lifted, we have that too. If you want a Ford F-250 King Ranch, we have that. If you want a Platinum, we have that. If you want a Dodge Ram Dually, we have that.
Well, something else you have and have quite a few of are the Wally behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good weekend.
Yeah, congratulations on winning the Spring Nationals, the final event at Baytown. How apropos is it for so many Houston folks to take home the Wally? Not only you, but Speedy also took home a Wally in his class, and then of course Erica taking home her Wally.
Erica did hers, absolutely. Yeah, she ran her final ran after hours. All of the Sportsman guys ran before the pros. And there's several guys. There's another guy from Pasadena that won. Michael Holcomb was the guy that ran in Super Comp. He's a local guy. I think there were seven guys total from the area that won, which is pretty impressive, especially for the last event.
I was, that's pretty awesome. I didn't realize it was that many. Because I don't know where a lot of folks are. I just kind of know who some of the names are. But for that many people who call that their home track, to take the final event, that's pretty cool.
What classes of cars what class do you run in those cars?
We run in a class called NHRA Stock Eliminator and NHRA Super Stock. So the class that I particularly won was the NHRA Stock class. So in my category, you cannot have wider than a 9-inch wide tire. The class of my older brother Harvey, which everyone knows as Speedy, he won in a class called Super Stock. So you can tub the rear end, you can shorten the rear end, put wheel tubs in it, put big fat tires underneath it. Obviously it's called Super Stock. So you can make more modifications to his type of car than you can to mine.
And you won in a '69 Camaro,
All American muscle, baby. You better believe it. Yeah,
396.
A big block, aluminum heads, Holley carburetor. I love that car.
You leave front wheels in the air.
Yeah, I love it. That's the only way. Loose is fast, right? So, the higher it goes, the faster it goes.
So do you tune yourself? You tune it yourself?
I try to, but I have a lot of good friends that help me. I have a good engine builder that if I have a question, he can help me.
Who is your engine builder?
A guy by the name of Brian Tilburg. He's in Pennsylvania. We've been doing business for a long time, and he does very well. And
if we were to count how many Wallies you have collected through the years, you personally, how many would that be?
I really don't know. And you're going to think this is crazy, but I just never keep count of it. And the reason why is because it's never enough. Now I don't say that to be any other way than I'm always chasing
competitive.
So that's really how I feel. It's just not enough.
I got that one. I need the next one.
That's right.
By the way, I did notice how conveniently you and or Stan have now pitted right across from each other. So I guess you're all exchanging some of that all-important knowledge and engine tuning together.
Are you kidding me? Why would you not want to pit next to Stan and Sheila Holt? Let me picture a Tia.
Yeah, because they got the best party in the pits.
Exactly. you know what? I'm glad you brought them up. They've been so supportive they're just great friends to us anyway, but they've been very supportive. Last year when I won the world championship, they were phenomenal people. We had a surprise party that I had no idea that everything was getting made behind the scenes. And Sheila and Stan did so much of that, along with a real good friend of mine. And but at the races, like everyone always says, you go to the races, it's all about the friendships and the people. And they're exactly right. When we're there to win, don't get me wrong, but when you have people like Stan and Sheila Holt and their crew, it really makes it fun. And they're always positive, uplifting. So if you have a bad run or a bad round, you just got to look 20 feet over, and those guys they're having a great time. They're always smiling, and they're just genuine people. So we enjoy being associated with them.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think that you also run in the same class as Sheila does. Do you know?
That's exactly right. Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. So have you raced Sheila?
One time, and she almost. I mean, we had a very good race, and I think it came down to less than 100th of a second.
Oh wow!
And it's funny. I always kid her about this. So her car is a manual shift transmission,
right?
So and my car is a little faster than hers, so she takes off and she's in front of me, and my car shifts the automatic. It shifts the 1-2 gear change by itself because it's so high in the air. And then for the 2-3, I have to push it. So I have a lot of time to watch my opponent, especially if they're out in front of me. So I'm in the left lane, Sheila's in the right lane, and my car comes out of the wheelie, and I'm moving to third gear, and I'm watching her, and she's just yanking that gear. And then next thing you know, she's like an owl. Her head's on a swivel. So she's turning around looking at me the entire time. And I'm looking at her like, she's doing an incredible job. So I just barely did get in front of her. I had a little bit of gap at the finish line, so I was able to get on the brakes. But it was an excellent race. But I've only ran her one time, and thank goodness, because she's pretty tough.
I know.
I like the logo. The logo. Chick with a stick.
She has a pretty good game.
Yeah.
She has a pretty good game when she does it in fun. But if you have to run her, she likes to talk to you in the stage lane.
She got talk.
Yeah. Now what do you dial in at?
So at the Houston National event, I was dialed in at the 10. I think in the final was dialed 1016.
Yeah.
1017. So my car runs. That weekend it was running. If I held it to the floor, it was running 131 miles per hour.
That's sweet. Yeah. Well, I have to tell you that I went on the hot rod tour of Texas last weekend, and we made a stop at Little River Dragway out there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know whether you've ever been there or not. Tons of fun. And I actually ran a 13 in my stock Corvette. 13,
Did you really?
A 13.0, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Now, that is that the first time you've ever ran it?
Yeah. And
Really?
I haven't been on a drag strip since high school, so I was
Incredible.
I know. Well, of course, it took me about 10 runs to get it to that point because, doing the light thing, I mean, I haven't done it in so long, but it sure was lots of fun.
It always is, especially because it has been so long for you. Yeah, getting the staging process down because if you try to stage and you're a little, they call it sloppy staging, and you stage too deep before the Christmas tree blinks down, well, then you kill a lot of ET. You can kill 0.2 of a second that way,
right?
Depending on your car. So, yeah, that's I bet it was a lot of fun.
It was tons of fun. Now I know that you're not old enough to go back to that era that I raced in high school, but I can tell you that the thrill is still there at this old man's age.
Well, he drives one of those era cars, though.
Yes, he does. Yes, but yeah, I will tell you that the stock, the real, honest to goodness, true stock 396 Camaro from 1969 did not go that fast.
Oh no!
Right. Yeah. And it's funny that you bring that up. So I used to drive, and we still have it. It's a '69 Chevrolet Chevelle, and it's always had a 350 small block in it. We just changed it out to a 427. But I made the switch to drive the Camaro because it did have a big block in it, and I wanted, because I was going in my Chevelle, I would go like 110 miles per hour at 1180s, 1190s, whatever that was.
Right.
And I made that change for exactly the statement you just made, because I was thinking, cars that are being produced off the showroom floor are running just as quick, if not quicker, than what I'm running. And I've been driving this car for so long.
Right.
So that's why I made the change to go faster, because you're exactly right. Because a '69 Camaro back in the day didn't go 13 seconds, right?
No.
Whatever they.
Right.
But yeah, you got to tune them up and work on them. And that's why I choose that particular combination, because I like to go fast.
Well, and with your car, I mean, at the hit of the throttle, your wheel's up, so you lose that wheelbase in 60-foot times.
That's exactly right.
How do you compensate for that, or your 60-foot time is what your 60-foot time is, and over time you're clocking that with the rear wheels?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I don't really pay much attention. I mean, it just depends. I try to tame it down where the front end comes down just before the 60 feet. If that's not the case, because I can definitely tell.
Oh yeah.
Because my 60 foot would be 134 if the front wheels trip the laser beam. If not, it'd be 142 or 139. Depends. It depends where the body actually triggered the laser beam. And I know that, but I can tell if my car turns a tire. So I don't give a whole lot of emphasis on 60 feet, just because I can feel it's a stalker. So you can feel a lot of movement. But from the 330 feet on, like when you get a time slip, you have the 60 foot, the 330, the 660, the 1,000, and then the 1320, the quarter mile mark. So you have all these increments that you can see if your car is making a bad run or even a better run just by looking at the markers,
at the time, the breakouts.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that surprised me early on, I was shifting at about 5,000 to 5,500. The car did not want that. It wanted 6,000 RPM, and it's funny. Third gear at 6,000 RPM, I'm just crossing the finish line. The 13.
Isn't that? Yeah, it's just. I guess it's just how all of the gearing is made, right?
Correct.
Like with the rear end gear and the transmission.
Yeah.
Wow. What a ride. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's tons of fun. I would love to have somebody like yourself get in it and drive it and see what you had to say about shift points.
Bring it out to the track. I'm sure he'd be glad to bang it down the quarter.
I think I hear a Friday night testing.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, there's an invite there somewhere.
I think so.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
There's no doubt about it. Okay, well, we shall see. I've got a connection. His name is Seth Angel down there. So
it's a pretty strong connection.
Yeah, it is. And how about Dale Hallquist? While we're talking about Stan and Sheila and you guys, Dale's a sportsman racer too. Now, is he in the stock or what
He
class?
runs both. Yeah, he has a great clean operation. His stuff is pretty fast. He has a 67 Camaro that he runs in the stock limiter class, and then he has a Cobalt, super slick car. Both of his cars are nice. But he has a Cobalt that has been converted to rear wheel drive, obviously, and he runs super stock in that category. And he does real well too. Every time Dale and I run, it's always 1-for-1. I'll beat him, he'll beat me. He never misses a tree, and he's always very close on the dial. So it's kind of like with when I ran Sheila Holt. It's the same thing with Dale. It's like they always put up a good run.
Now, does Dale have a automatic or a manual?
No, his Super Stalker will shift by itself just because of the timer that it has in it. But his Stalker, I believe, has a 3-speed. So if I'm not mistaken, his car does the 1-2 shift by itself, and then he'll push it the 2-3 like I do in my car. I think that's how his car is set up.
Interesting. Well, I know that, like you said, it's a conglomeration of great friends out there having a good time and enjoying the camaraderie and the friendship. Jerry, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us today, talking about the used car business down there at Emmons Motors, and also love talking drag racing with you.
Guys, it's always a pleasure to be on your show, and anytime I can give some insight or we can talk about drag racing, which is our passion and our love, I'd be glad to do it. So thank you again for having us on.
Congratulations to both you and Harvey on your Spring Nationals win and your World Championship in 2021.
And we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks again.
I hope so.
All right.
You bet.
All right. Time now for the events calendar. And Conrad has that.
So, again, tonight, Nifty 50s, Kima Car Meet, the ones that are going on all the time. But also tonight, starting at noon to 6 p.m., is the Houston Pride Lowrider car show at Alamo Tamales and Tacos on Berry Road in Houston, and it's an open car show. Also tonight is the Wharton Cruise Night at Domino's Pizza, just a cruise in. And then tomorrow morning is the Car Culture Shifted Meet at Cinco Ranch in Katy, Texas. again, just in an open cruise. Galveston Car Cruise is tomorrow morning. They're going to meet at Vape King on FM 520.
The Vape King. I hang out there all the time.
I've got
in
all their
Friendswood, Texas. And, don't forget, we're Tailpipes and Tacos is June 18th. And that's going to be at Lupe Tortillas off of Grand Parkway and Kingsland. We'll be there doing the show live. We always have lots of people asking us when the next one is. And remember, the pattern of the shows changed a little bit. We're going to do 4 shows this year with Lupe Tortillas, and there are going to be awards provided in those shows. You can go to our Facebook page or Lupe Tortillas Facebook page and see what cool looking awards those are.
Is that Father's Day weekend?
June 17th.
Or I don't know, Mike. Would you know?
I think it is.
Well, let's just wait just a moment, and I will be able to walk you through that.
On that note, there's a reputable card company.
It is Father's Day weekend.
A reputable card company that is in select cities. They're selling Father's Day cards in 5-packs.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure if this is Stan or Sheila.
They just blew right by that.
Yep.
Did anybody get that?
Yeah, you did.
5-packs.
Okay,
I'm not real sure if it's Stan or Sheila, but one of them said, "I love my world champ." I'm assuming that's Sheila, not Stan.
Let's see, what time is it? No, it's Sheila. Stan's not up yet. Yeah, Anyway, we love you guys. All right, time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars had a chance to drive the Ram 1500.
Yeah, did. The 2022 Ram 1500. Now, this is the Rebel with a GT package on it. It's a crew cab 4x4, full-size pickup. Comes in, you can actually get the 1500 now in 7 different trim levels, and the Rebel is considered a mid-level trim. So there's a couple of them up and a couple of them down below. And what they've done, they've added a little more aggressive styling to this 5-passenger vehicle. It's got the performance hood look, and it's got tow hooks, it's got skid plates, it's got a lot of the off-road things that you'd be looking for if you were looking for an off-road type vehicle like the Rebel is set up as. Up front, you're going to find LED lighting, the front and the rear, fog lights, all of it's LED, even some inside the bed lighting is LED. You're going to find you got rain-sensing wipers, power folding mirrors, a dual-pane sunroof. So almost the entire cab is like a big sunroof up there. Now, in the back, we had the trifold tonneau cover, which works really well, keeps things pretty dry. Had the adjustable cargo tie-downs inside of it, and had the lights, again, that were back there. And when we got to the inside of it, we had the leather vinyl seating. It was kind of a combination of materials on it. And the front seats are heated and ventilated, had the 60/40 rear seat, had the big 12-inch monitor in the center stack. And that thing is just, you can do all kinds of things.
It looks like an iPad in there.
It does. It actually does. And we had the digital screen for the driver where we had all the information panels for that. And now the rear seat was the 60/40. The front seats are heated and ventilated. Now the rear seat, the outboard positions on it were also heated on it. It folds up, gives you a flat bed, lots of room inside the cab of it. Up under the hood is the 5.7-liter V8 Hemi. There's a couple other options you can get, but we had the Hemi in it, 395 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque, backed by an 8-speed automatic transmission that fed back to a 392 gear. We also had, as an option from the factory, as part of the Rebel package, the Mopar cold air intake from the factory that you could typically you could add on. I looked at it to see if it would fit on mine. Not so much. So
swap it out.
I was just going to say, what were you thinking about swiping it?
Just making sure it would fit.
Crossover.
I bet you they make one that fits yours. You
they
just have
do.
to pay for it.
That's it. And I also found it interesting. We had an optional 33-gallon fuel tank because
Kimberly Schultz, I just wanted to give you a heads up, Kimberly, that Mike is thinking about stealing the air cleaner off of the truck.
33-gallon gas tank.
Yeah, I filled it up once.
I was going to say it's $120 to fill that.
No, I thought he was going to say I siphoned the 33-gallon gas tank.
Thanks.
I didn't
Kimberly.
think about that.
Yeah.
I drove it too many miles. Now, the EPA says on this one you should be looking for 18, Highway 22, and combined 19. I actually, across my 303.4 miles, I got 14.8 miles to a gallon.
Fat foot.
But let me tell you, this thing has got some smooth power. I mean, some nice driving smooth.
Yeah, and
everybody wants a Hemi.
And you paid for it with that 33-gallon fuel tank, didn't you?
You pay really well for it. Now, the other thing about driving it, though, it had the four-corner air suspension, and, of course, it's got the rear coil springs on it, so it's got a really great ride. But this one didn't come with running boards, so I thought that was kind of weird. But it has the
squat feature.
The squat feature is a good way to put it. It lowers it down, and it works pretty good. It brings it down to getting in and out space. But the problem is it takes so long to do it. If you pull up to and you get to a parking spot and you push the button to take it down to where you want to get out, yes, I mean, it's like it takes way too long.
It's kind of like you in the morning.
Kind of like that, yes.
And then, so you get real quick to where you're coming out the store and you got bags or something from the grocery store. You hit the button then to make sure it's down to get into it because
on the way in.
Because if you don't want to stand there and wait, I mean, I would rather have the running boards, a retractable running board or something than have to depend on that. But other than that, it was great. Now, the base model price on the Ram 1500, you can get one of these for $38,370 in the crew cab configuration. Now, the base trim price that we were working with was $51,350. However, the as-tested price, by the time we add on all these little goodies and stuff to get to the vehicle that we actually had, and it's a really nice vehicle, $71,895.
Not an uncommon price.
No,
for
it's
very
really
well
not.
equipped.
Because if you step over to the Silverado, the starting on it in the same crew cab configuration is $39,500. The F-150 Ford is $38,500, and even a Tundra is $38,000.
Right.
So they're all right there in that same ballpark, depending on how you want to feature
them.
But this was a really nice driving truck, I'm going to tell you.
Cool. So you're gonna buy one and get rid of your older one?
I'll keep my 2015.
Your granddaughter needs one.
Yeah.
But the days of the Hemi are numbered. Stellantis unveiled a new engine, a twin turbocharged straight 6-cylinder
I know.
that's going
forward
to power
that.
the Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, which is going to be kind of interesting. They're going to call it the Hurricane. And you got to think an inline 6-cylinder is actually going to have better torque than some of the V8s
Didn't they put that in a Power Wagon? What's in the Power Wagon?
Well, this is an all-new engine.
Yeah,
this is an all-new
it's
engine.
not even out yet. All right. Well, thank you, sirs. In Wheel Time Car Show is now part of the iHeart family and available 24/7 at iHeart.com and through the iHeart app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We still stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. More of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show right after these brief messages.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the Same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
It is live from Studio A, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Coming up, fellow auto writer Jeff Yip joins us to talk about catalytic car thefts and catalytic converter thefts in Houston. Plus, we have the events calendar and the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Seekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday, last segment of our weekly program. Thank you very much. And joining us now is fellow auto writer Jeff Yip. Jeff, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in, it seems like, forever, but you're looking well, my friend. Oh, sorry, I didn't turn you on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, well,
yeah.
It's great to see you folks.
Well, yeah, and Jeff and I have history.
Watch it.
That's scary.
It is, yeah, exactly. Texas Auto Writers Association. Are you still a member?
No, I'm not.
Neither am I.
Neither's Don.
There's your history.
Yeah, there's our history. But there was a time that Jeff and Mike and I were in Texas Auto Writers all together at the same time, and that's how I got to know Jeff. And so I peruse automotive news on a weekly basis, and I see Jeff Yip has written a story about the rise in catalytic converter thefts and all of the consequences that go along with that. And dealerships are getting filled up with converter replacements on a lot of the new cars, and
Or waiting on converters to replace.
yeah, and that's a major problem. But the interesting point about it, Jeff is local, and he used local dealers for a lot of this content in his stories here in the Houston area. And Jeff, I mean, we hear about converter thefts almost every day in the news, especially when you've got people getting killed over converter thefts. And let's break it down here. Why people are, first of all, stealing catalytic converters.
Well, this problem has been going on a very, very long time, but it's true that there's an epidemic of thefts now, and that's driven primarily by the value of the materials that are used to convert the noxious gases in the combustion engine to somewhat safer levels of other compounds. So the values of the precious metals, for instance, rhodium, was up to $21,000 an ounce last April. And
An ounce. It's hard.
Checked, about 16,000.
Unbelievable. It's just an ounce. We're talking about, this much. How much though?
Fingers.
Yeah. How much rhodium is in one catalytic converter?
Well, it varies greatly, but let me tell you that that's part of the problem. Some contain more than others, but we're talking about 2 to 3, 4, 7 grams total. And
it's a lot.
The values have gone up to where to replace them at the dealer level with OEM cats, which do take a while to show up, of course, can cost the retail customer or the insurance company $8,000.
For a catalytic converter?
Well, it's not just the converter; it's the exhaust system that hangs with it, because that's how they take it. They just sawzall it off, and they've destroyed the exhaust system around it.
The thieves, if they're not careful, and there's no reason for them to be careful, apparently, they can saw into the O2 sensor, they can saw into coolant lines, transmission fluid lines, fuel
Oh,
lines, which is super dangerous, of course. So it's not only the loud sound when you crank up your engine, it's the
All the
ancillary damage. that
yeah, it
can
may
be
not
very-
all the
stop.
juice you're leaking out in
Yeah.
the meantime.
So I had, actually, it was my daughter's car, and I don't recall the year model. It was a older Camaro that I had given her. And it had the check engine light that would come on it, and it was always the catalytic converter. Well, I went to the muffler shop, and you know, okay, we can supply you with, at the time, an OEM converter for like $3,000, or you can do this aftermarket one
For 300.
for $700. And I said, well, I'll take the aftermarket. He says, well, that's fine. And it will keep the check engine light off for a while. But our history is that it doesn't last as long.
Which goes back to Jeff's conversation earlier about the level of premium
Emissions.
metals that are inside of it. You know, they actually get used as the converter ages. So the less of that they put in, the less efficient the converter is.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, when they steal these converters and resell them, how can that be stopped? Because there's somebody buying them, that's driving the market for stealing them.
That is the multi-million-dollar question. The best solution, of course, is to prevent them from being stolen. But right now, there are very few tools and legal ways to solve the problem, because you have to tie a person to the crime. Just because they possess one may be illegal. It could be a misdemeanor according to the recent laws passed by, for instance, Houston. But all over the country, legislation is being written both at the local, state, and federal levels, trying to do something about this problem, which is it's an economic disaster for the economy and the hardworking people that need their cars every day.
And what are the most popular vehicles that are having converters stolen on? I saw a list. I didn't know if you had also.
Well, there are several lists, but let me tell you that right now it's and for the immediate past few months or years, it's been the Toyota Tundra, which have 4 converters, 2 inline on each side. The Tacoma, the Honda Accord, some of them have super ultra low emission vehicle calibrated engines, so their converters are very, very good, robust. So people will. I know how I got into this whole story is a personal level. Journalism is always personal with me. A friend woke up and found their car, their used Accord, missing, and they found it in a parking lot nearby, and somebody had hooked the car up to take it to where they could use the Sawzall without waking people up, and stolen the converter. And it's like Don was saying, it's extremely expensive to get a OEM quality one. And in fact, when I tell you that these converters can cost $5,000, $8,000, $11,000 to convert, to repair, and many people might not have comprehensive insurance, so there you go, it's out of pocket. Or number 2, it could be the insurance company could write the car off because the value of that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's total.
Old Accord that my friend had wasn't that high, but it's a solid transportation car.
So Jeff, are they being stolen primarily to resell instead of?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not trying to mine the precious material out of them.
Heavens, no. There are unscrupulous buyers. In fact, one of my journalism students from Southern California, he went on to become an LAPD commander. He's now retired. He told me that there's a certain area of downtown LA that they have catalytic converter buyers. And so you've got to catch them. Number 2, you have to have a reason to believe the converter is stolen. Of course, how many people are going to be driving around at 4 a.m. in the morning with a trunk full of cut-off converters?
Yeah, or standing on a street corner with a converter up underneath their overcoat, just
Well, the other thing too is, Jeff, that it sounds to me like these people are kind of like a chop shop in a way, except they specifically drill down to the catalytic converter. Because it's a whole lot easier to cut the converter out and sell the entire converter to whoever this chop shop is, if you will, and then open up the converter, know where these precious metals are in the converter, because I assume that I don't even know how they set it. How do they set them up in the converter?
Or just turn around and resell them to the same person they were stolen from, because they're the only people who have them available, because you can't get them from the dealers right now.
Well, I know, but the dealer's not going to buy them, and so you take the car to the dealership, and what are you going to do? Yeah, wait for a new one. Right. So Jeff, I know that you talked to at least a couple of dealerships in town, and one of the dealerships had 66 vehicles waiting on the lot for converters.
Right. Wow! So I started canvassing dealers all over the country, and I called this one particular dealer here in town, and I was astounded when I had to ask him again, what number was that? And my editor, I've been working with the great folks at Automotive News for quite a while, and my editor thought perhaps
typo.
The dealership's cars the brand new cars were hit, which dealers have been hit plenty of times. But no, it was customers' cars. Can you imagine?
No, 66 slots on a service lot.
Garage. But that 66 cars, some of them have 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or 4.
Or 4, yeah.
And you can't legally, the dealership can't fix it with just straight pipes in place of the converters, because check engine lights, emissions certification, all of that's wrong. But they can't get the part either. And if you think about, some of these precious metals are coming out of China and coming out of the Ukraine, so coming out of Russia, so you can't even get them even worse.
So, Jeff, how much does a catalytic converter stolen off of a car bring?
Well, it varies amazingly on which kind you have. I was told by one metal company that specializes in catalytic converters that there's I think it's the 674 diesel at one time. Their converter was worth $1,000. They would pay for a legitimate converter
for that whole torpedo underneath the truck. Yeah. Oh, easily
$1,000.
Yeah, but particulates in the diesel. So.
Yeah, it'd be $8,000 for the part alone at the Ford dealer.
So you're taking it to somewhere to sell as scrap, and then they do what they do with it, either recondition it, sell it to someone that needs it, or they take it apart to get all the precious metals.
I heard an interview with the guy over at C&D Scrap Metals, and he won't even deal with converters.
That's smart guy.
He said, absolutely not. I'm not dealing with those. I will not buy them. I'm not going to get involved.
Because he knows where they're coming from.
He's a legitimate scrap dealer, and he won't deal with it. So the question is, I'm sure that the Houston Police Department, or at least locally anyway, has some idea of who is buying this. They just have to find a way to catch them.
They have to have a way to legally stop them, seize the contraband, and the technique that's advocated by a lot of people to try to prevent things from happening is to paint the catalytic converters with a bright color, typically yellow or orange, and etch your last 8 numbers of your VIN into the can of the converter. And that could deter the thinking. The rationale is that the scrap metal people don't want to take a chance
traceable
with a stolen converter. They won't deal with it. It's not worth the trouble or the legal problems. And the police want that to happen because they have then a reason to say, hey, you've got to prove this converter is yours.
And I think, wasn't it last weekend, there was a couple of shops that were actually doing that for free for customers? I remember reading that in the paper.
There's something on the news about that, yeah.
I was there. The police have done a great job of working with the community, and I happened to be at one of those workshops last weekend and watched the process being done to many, many people. people's cars. And there's so much worry. If you just get on social media and there's an app called Nextdoor for your neighborhood.
Every
and
day.
I've been seeing so many converter thefts, and these Ring cameras and home videos are rampant now. And these guys will typically pull into a cul-de-sac. 4 people will be there. 2 will be under the car handling the hardware and the sawzall, and the other 2 will be lookouts and getaway drivers. And it happens in 5 minutes.
And they tend to be armed lookouts as well. These people are extremely dangerous.
That's exactly one of the reasons why I look forward to working with you today on this program. Is people have to realize that this is not just somebody stealing mag wheels. These are hardcore criminals now that migrated. They know the payoff's much better, the risks are much better. And get this, it's a misdemeanor. You can't even be put in jail oftentimes for stealing these things.
I had no clue.
So don't challenge them if they're doing it.
No.
People are dying because they're being shot.
Right.
Of course, the risk to the thieves there have been plenty of documented cases where in the morning, someone driving by sees a couple of feet sticking out from underneath a Prius, which is one of the high targeted cars as well. And so the thieves are dying because they're not, practicing safe jacking. But the risk to the consumer, the victims are real. So the police have told me, just be a good witness, stay calm, don't even try to stop anything. Recently, just 2 nights ago, a catalytic converter thief suspect was shot and killed because he pulled a gun on
Sugarland.
Yeah,
it's not far from where I live. Yeah,
and in this story from Automotive News, Jeff, there's some theft prevention tips. Avoid having converters stolen. Park in a garage or secured parking area. Install bright motion sensor lights in parking areas to dissuade thieves. Park fleet vehicles in a secured, well-lit yard with an alarm system. Always lock vehicles and set alarms. Install a catalytic converter anti-theft device. We didn't talk about that, and I guess that what they're doing is basically building, welding in a box around the thing.
Kind of a cage.
A shield.
It's a shield. It's like a model. It's a version of a skid plate, but they're using hardware that supposedly the fasteners are somewhat unique, and so that it'll be hard to get to the cats. There are shields made of stainless steel and aluminum, and of course they tell me that the aluminum is easier to cut with a sawzall.
Oh yeah.
But these stainless steel ones, to me, they look pretty robust, and if I had a high value target like a Tundra or a Tacoma or an Accord or a
Prius
pickup, all pickups are, and SUVs are fair game as well, by the way.
And
not to pick on Toyota.
And part of that's because of the way the vehicle sits, it's easier to get under.
Exactly.
Well, Jeff, it's great to talk to you. We thank you so much for joining us today. You can read Jeff's complete story at Automotive News and just look under the rise in catalytic converter thefts. And it's been up there this week, as a matter of fact. Jeff, thanks again. It's great to see you, my friend. Take care of yourself, and let's talk again soon.
Okay, don't be a stranger.
You too. All right.
Don's always strange.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. All you have to do is shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Interesting story. Biden administration said it will spend more than $3.1 billion to support the domestic manufacturing of advanced batteries used in EVs and energy storage. Why are you and I spending money on this?
So they can profit and pay Mary Barra $29 million.
Why is that? About $3.16 billion in grants will be made available to produce key metals for the batteries, such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel.
All things that are
so now they're going to start stealing batteries out of electric cars now.
Did you realize that GMC is bringing back the short bed or the regular bed, regular cab, single cab? Boy, I can't even get that out of my head. That has gone away for a number of years. Because there's a demand for it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. big demand for it. Kind of the sport truck, but they don't even sell many extended cabs
Full-size.
anymore. Most everything they sell is the 4-door trucks. But they are bringing back, GMC and Chevrolet are bringing back the regular cab, regular bed.
Interesting.
Shorty little sport truck.
Well, I mean, I can understand that for the mid-size truck, but for
Colorado
the
or
full-size truck, really? I mean, is that big of a demand for a work truck? I could understand, but anything other than
not
that,
for me. I mean, if I'm going to get a truck, I'm going to want a 4-door.
Yeah.
Well, me too. But part of their sales pitch on the midsize when they went to that was that it fits in the garage better. It's smaller and so I mean maybe
Will
that's
it?
part of it. The midsize will, but I don't know that a regular cab.
Oh, I think a regular cab, regular bed probably would fit in a garage because that's not going to be,
It'd be tight.
any longer than Suburban. Suburbans can fit in a garage.
It'd be
Depending on how old your house is,
anyway,
too.
I just thought that might be part of it.
Volkswagen Group's premium brands. This is for Jeff.
Uh-oh.
Volkswagen Group's premium brands, Audi and Porsche, have decided to join Formula One.
Oh, yay.
Audi is ready to offer around $556 million for British luxury sports car maker McLaren as a means to enter. Source told Reuters in March, while Porsche intends to establish a long-term partnership with racing team Red Bull starting in several years' time.
Oh, wow.
I knew that you were sitting on the edge of your seat waiting to hear that.
More arrogant builders.
So did you hear Ford filed for a patent for remote engine revving system?
Why?
I'm not real sure why, but they are.
Why would you want to rev your engine remotely?
You ever been to a meet with a Mustang? They get.
Well, I know, but why would you want to do it remotely?
Because they can.
Okay.
And it is through the key fob to rev the engine. That was the patent that they filed.
And
for.
hopefully it won't get hung up, hacked or hung up.
Or jumping gear.
Uh-huh.
That'd be pretty cool.
Here's one for you. You ready? Toyota running out of EV tax credits. Law allows automakers to offer $7,500 tax credit to buyers for fully or partly electric cars, but only up to 200,000 vehicles per company. Demand for Toyota's plug-in hybrid vehicles has steadily grown, especially as gas prices have surged past $4 a gallon, pushing its cumulative sales of eligible vehicles to 183,000 already as of the end of 2021, according to an analysis by Bloomberg NEF. The company reports sales of another 8,421 plug-in hybrid and electric cars in the first quarter of this year.
And the only way to get their van is with the plug-in hybrid Synergy Drive.
Stellantis said it will spend $2.8 billion to retool a pair of assembly plants and build 2 new R&D centers in Canada. Stellantis on Monday said its Windsor and Brampton plants will be converted into what the company described as flexible, multi-energy vehicle assembly facilities ready to produce multi-energy. Yeah. Governments of Canada and the province of Ontario each will give Stellantis up to $398 million toward the projects. Stellantis has agreed to buy the Share Now car-sharing business from BMW and Mercedes-Benz as the 2 German automakers focus on the software part of their mobility alliance. Stellantis wants to position itself as a global leader in car sharing, using this step announced on Tuesday to expand its existing business in the area. Share Now, the European market leader, allows customers to use smartphones for short-term rentals of cars, including BMW, Mini, Mercedes, Smart, and Fiat vehicles in cities.
There you go.
Ford came out and told the dealers, don't be selling your F-150 Lightning demos. There will be penalties if you do. Because, as these Lightnings are coming out, dealers are ordering demos because demos may be allowed outside of the normal allocation. Well, they don't want them using the demo program to increase their allocation. And they want
butts in the seats
right.
of those cars. The people turn their car in to get repaired or something, put them in a Lightning.
Let them drive an F-150 Lightning in the process.
Yeah.
But Ford's telling them, don't be selling them. They're in the demo program. Leave them there.
Wow.
So Brad Thompson was online, and he said that Roadway Lube Plus is painting and etching VINs on cats for their customers.
Very cool.
Very good segment with Jeff. I really, enjoyed that. That was educational.
So is this a cost to it? Obviously, there's a cost attached to it, or?
Good question. I don't know. I would imagine yes.
But can't you you can buy an etching tool yourself.
Yeah.
And you can get under there and scratch the VIN number. The last 4 digits of the VIN.
No,
is that
last eight. So the last 8 is never duplicated in a year, because it's going to give the year of production. It's going to give the assembly plant, and each assembly plant throughout industry has its own identifier.
Listen, if I have the oil change place down the street, if I own that, I'm going to go out and buy me one of those etching tools, and hey, for $9.95, I'll go ahead and etch those in there in your catalytic
and they'll
converter.
line up to do it.
Yeah, and then I'll also
and then
spray
it's the
it.
opportunity to take a look at the vehicle and offer them other
The halo
services
effect, you
while
bet.
they're there.
You get it up in the air, you can find all kinds of
Yeah,
things.
just to kind of get them in to do that as a service, and then an opportunity to get them to maintain the
And the
vehicles.
sign out front would be cat scratching.
I love that.
And you could play a little Ted Nugent, little cat scratch fever. Cat
Oh, my
scratch
God.
fever.
Okay. We need part of that. Whatever you're doing out there, we need in on
We need a
that.
little credit
There you go.
We need to take a break.
We do.
It's clear now. Water up, everybody. We'll finish out today's show right after a quick break.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Real Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Real Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Real Time Car Talk.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show here on iHeartRadio. When you're on our Facebook page, please give us a like if you will. Tell your friends about us and share our junk, please. I mean that in every sense of the word. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. There'll be some fun stuff in there for you too, including upcoming events, cruise-ins, and other goodies. You can find In Wheel Time Car Talk 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. In Real Time can also be heard live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central. 30-minute podcast available from your favorite podcast provider 7 days a week. In-Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Advertising Manager and Video Technical Director is We Need More, Jeff Zekin. And for Booking Agent and Podcast Editor, Mike Out of This World Mars and his royalty king, Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Today's In-Wheel Time was produced and directed by the State of Texas Department of Transportation. Thank you for dragging out reconstruction of the I-69 Loop 610 interchange and ruining countless of lives by closing the interchange again, and again. Be sure and join us again for our next live In-Wheel Time Car Talk show while you're sitting in traffic next Saturday, May 14th, starting at 8 a.m. Central Time on all of these In-Wheel Time Car Talk outlets right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. So long for now.